Hello, everybody. Hi, it is Romania Black, and we are here summer live stream for a while. I'm gonna get on Twitter right now and make a tweet about there's Huckleberry live stream about Millionaire Detective and fall channel things going on now on YouTube. And see you there. All right. So I want to get a millionaire GIF to put on Twitter because everybody likes to rather have a GIF on there and do that. So let me see. Hello, Tony Simi. Yay. I'm just getting this updated for the lovely Twitter that still exists somehow. And there we go. I'm going to get one of Daisuke. That sounds good. Awesome. Yay. Hello, Diginova Star. Yay! I'm so excited. This is going to be the last live stream for a little bit. So I was like, might as well get on here, talk about Millionaire Detective, talk about fall things, talk about stuff that's going on, my obsession with Jujutsu Kaisen that never ends, all sorts of fun stuff. So I hope you guys are having a good morning, afternoon, evening. It is 1:00 Central Standard Time here in the US of A, Midwest. So it's like right after lunch. I'm really excited. Hello, Theodore. Yay. So I'm excited to talk about it. I don't know how many people in the live stream will have watched Millionaire Detective. I'm going to kind of sprinkle stuff throughout this about Millionaire Detective because I do want to talk about the series as a whole. But and 6:00 there. That's so crazy. Time zones are weird. And my voice is kind of higher pitched today because I've noticed over the weekend I've not lost my voice, but it's become very squeaky. So in some of the reactions I've been recording, I have a very squeaky voice. So that's always exciting. But hello, Amaru. Yay. So man, I guess the first thing to ask as everybody is getting on here is I hope you guys are having a great weekend. I hope y'all are doing good. I hope everybody is staying cool. It's still summer. It's warm. 8 p.m. That's so strange. Time zones are weird. Time is weird. But yes, this will be probably the last live stream I do for a while, not only because it's the last series that we're finishing up with for a while, but also because school is starting back up. I teach, so my semester is about to start back again. It actually starts tomorrow. So boo. Going back to teaching. I had a really nice summer break, and now we're going back to teaching. But yeah, what time zones? It's 9 p.m. That's so crazy. Yeah, I never know. Whenever I'm on Discord, I'll say, "Oh, good morning." Everybody's like, "It's 5 p.m." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Hello, Lemonade. Hello. I've really enjoyed these live streams. Thank you, Tony Simi. I've enjoyed them. I haven't had the chance to do a lot of them the last couple of years because most of the series that I watched were just catching up or were they and do a lot of live streams. So I got really lucky this summer that I knew a lot of series were ending and we would need to do a live stream about them. So I guess the next live stream I'll probably end up doing is for Kuroko's basketball. I guess that's the next live stream that I'll be doing. It'll probably be around October by the time I get caught up with everything. Which was bizarre because I've been watching Kuroko's basketball for like a year and reading the manga. So it'll be weird to do a live stream about that. That's going to be a doozy. So that one I'll probably have to plan for. But yeah, oh, how exciting. So Clara, say here are for I had to do advanced time zone conversions. Math. The thing Romania is not good at is math. Definitely other side of the brain. English side of the brain for sure. But I hope you guys are all doing great. Cookielicious, hello. And hello, Clara, however one pronounces it. I don't know how many of you all have watched Millionaire Detective, but we are going to be talking about it throughout this live stream, and along with sprinkling with other things as well. Amaru, Kuroko no Basketball took a lot longer than I expected. I think it's just because of all the extra material is what has made it longer. When I started that series, I did not realize how much extra material came with Kuroko's basketball. But when we get to that live stream, I'm going to have a whole thing about it because I thought it was just going to be an anime. Then we were done. And then the fandom was like, ha, 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 no, you fool, you sweet summer child. And that I am. Oh, yes, Heaven Official's Blessing. Oh, Cookielicious. When we get to Heaven Official's Blessings live stream, that's going to be like a whole day-long event. I'm sure it will be. It's going to be ridiculous. But thank you so much for your kindness. I really I really am grateful for it. Omaru, another audio drama. Well, technically, there's only 2 audio dramas that are still being translated right now by some of the patrons over on Patreon. There's no time frame for when those get done. I may do the live stream for Kuroko's long before they get done, and that's fine because I'm sure that I will have a small little Kuroko-shaped hole in my heart where I'll want to watch more. So I've already told those people, I was like, you guys translate at your own pace. Those last 2 audio dramas, I will get to them when I get to them. Like that or Modazushi more. Yeah, I really need to get to the Modazushi and talk about the manhwa for that, but I just haven't gotten to it yet. There's a lot to talk about on the channel, and there's only so many hours in the day, right? Which we'll talk about fall schedule in this. I wanted to kind of use this live stream to talk about Millionaire Detective, talk about fall schedule, answer questions you all have about the channel, since I probably won't be doing a live stream again until October when we get finished with Kuroko's basketball and move on to the next sports anime that will take its place as it's being. There's actually a poll going on right now on Patreon. We've been having like a bracket style sports bracket to determine which sports anime is going to be next. And right now we're in the quarterfinals. So that's exciting. We're narrowing it down. So if you get on Patreon or if you're a patron, you can see what all we're voting on. But I'm probably transitioning the polls more over to Patreon because I feel like if people are paying me money to watch things, I want to reward them. So we're not to the finals yet. Right now we're in the quarterfinals. There's one more poll of the quarterfinals, and then we'll be moving into the semifinals. As far as who's in the semifinals at this point, Ping Pong, Blue Lock, Welcome to the Ballroom, and Chihayafuru are the 4 that are in the semifinals so far. And there's 2 more spaces that will be determined next week on the polls. And then we'll do semifinals and then a finals. So by September, we should know what sports anime is going to be replacing Kuroko's basketball. But that's really exciting. So, but obviously, I know not everybody can support me on Patreon. I totally understand that. I get it. But I'm very grateful for the support on here as well as Patreon, wherever. Any support I'm grateful for because you guys are amazing. And I love talking with you all about anime and manga. So, and Donmai and Donghua and all of that. So we'll see who wins. Honestly, the picks that are up for the semifinals, I'm really excited about. I feel I'm not going to go into Blue Lock. I've told everybody in the Discord, Blue Lock has been a subject of contention. People either are obsessed or they want nothing to do with it. I just love it. There's a part of me, I've already told everyone on the Discord on Patreon that if Blue Lock wins, which it's kind of the front runner right now, I don't want to know anything about it. I don't want any plot points, nothing. So I will ignore anybody that tries to tell me plot things about it. I don't want to know. But I have said that if it does win, I will be promoting Ace of the Diamond every episode. And the reason for that is that last year, several of us right now in the Discord, Koshin is going on right now in Japan. This summer high school basketball, the summer high school baseball finals and nationals are taking place right now in Japan. And so some people in the Discord last Saturday, we watched one of the games, and then we were live talking about it in the Discord. And last year when we did that, there were all of these Blue Lock ads throughout Koshin. And we were all just looking at each other and typing in the Discord being like, why are there these Blue Lock ads? It's a baseball game. And we were making a joke about it. So I said last year, I was like, if Blue Lock ever wins the sports anime poll, every single episode I will dress in either a Haikyuu or in a Ace of the Diamond jersey, and I will promote Ace of the Diamond every single episode. And that'll be my shameless plug. I'll be like, so today on episode of Blue Lock, by the way, did you know about Ace of the Diamond? And just promote it every single episode. And that's what I'm going to do. So so part of me wants it to win just so I can have fun and promote Ace of the Diamond again. But part of me understands if it doesn't. So we'll see. Another part of me is well, if it does win, let's just get it out of the way. So I don't know. I'm good either way. There is a lot of, and Tony Simi is right, there's a lot of really good sports anime out there. But if Blue Lock does win, the first 10 minutes of each episode is probably just going to be going on tangents about Ace of the Diamond and then being like, oh, where were we? Oh, yes, of course, soccer. Soccer, as the Americans call it, But yeah, so I'm really excited to talk to you all about Millionaire Detective. I know several of you have been watching it with me these last 11 weeks. It's so weird. If you've not been watching The Millionaire Detective, it's fine. I'm not going to go into huge spoilers. One of my points I do have on here is about criticisms. And so I will base that if people aren't going to want to listen. But I am really, really excited to talk about Millionaire Detective with you all and kind of round out talking about things before the last live stream ends, before maybe October. Ricky Dicky Doodad Grimes. Ricky Dicky Doodad Grimes. I love that name. That's hilarious. Oh, thank you. I am loving Berserk right now. Berserk is so much fun. Is it weird that it's become like a comfort anime? Is it weird? It is, yes, but I love it. And I am going to be doing the manga reactions. I'm going to be working this fall to get some new equipment to do them. That's all I can say, and testing it out before then. But I'm really excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. How to not do a sports anime. Oh my gosh. You know what? I love sports anime. I don't think sports anime will ever leave this channel. There will always be a sports anime on this channel because it's probably one of my favorite genres of anime. There's just so many good storytelling elements you can use with it. It's great. But I want to start talking about Millionaire Detective. We've been talking for 10 minutes and not beating around the bush. So I don't know how many of you in the chat watched. I like Omaru's comment in the chat. It is a comfort anime. I don't know how many of you have watched Millionaire Detective with me. If you have not, I do highly recommend it. It is good. It's only 11 episodes, which is its biggest detriment. I think the biggest detriment to Millionaire Detective is it is only 11 episodes. It is just... And I see Tony Simi's comment here. Balance Unlimited was a fun watch, but I will probably forget about it quickly again. It's so sad because it's one of those series where it's only 11 or 12 episodes and it has really good characters. It's got a fun story. I really enjoyed it. I have two major criticisms of it for sure that we'll get to, but I really enjoyed it and I wanted more. And the sad thing is, knowing the source material, it's based off of detective novels and it's had a live action series. It was prominent in the 80s. It had like a manga in the 80s. It's, you feel like it could be a Sherlock Holmes type story that would go on and have multiple seasons with different adventures, especially where it ends off at. And it's really sad that it doesn't. And so I'm very sad about that. I wish that there was more to it as a whole. But as a whole, I really enjoyed the detective elements of it. It threw in some red herrings that I know you that were commenting in the comments about each week and were looking at me going, Romania, that is not something you should be suspicious of. There was a character in the show that I was suspicious of the entire time. There were two characters I was suspicious of the entire series. One, turns out that my suspicions were valid. They were the one that was responsible. But the other character, they weren't responsible at all. It was just a total red herring and I was fooled. I was like, dang it. It feels like a very blink and it's over anime. Hello, Anime Annie. Yes. I agree. It was one of those, like, it was over like that. That and the last live stream I did was Death Parade. And it just felt like it was over too quickly. Did you Nova Star? It made me think of a budget Bungo Stray Dogs. Oh my God. I'm like losing my voice. I'm like squeaking. Budget Bungo Stray Dogs. It's the Clover Valley. No, we're not going to treat it like that. We are not going to give it that shame. No. It would be like it's Bungo Stray Dogs without the abilities. There we go. Does that work? Yes. I feel like the animation is very similar to Bungo Stray Dogs, which is funny because it's not bones, which is curious. But I feel like the tone is very similar to Bungo Stray Dogs. Season 1, particularly, of Bungo Stray Dogs. I feel like the tone of Millionaire and season 1 of Bungo Stray Dogs have a very similar tone. So I could see that. But man, I wish we could have a crossover. That'd be great. I'm not usually a crossover kind of girl, but that would have been great. Flash the Cash. Fitzgerald would get along great with Daisuke, right? Fitzgerald and Daisuke would be besties. Can you imagine? They would just be the best of friends. Yes. We have BSD at home. That's great, Omaru. I love that. But yeah, I really loved Haru and Daisuke as the main characters of Millionaire. They were very, very great. Oh, hello, 3 comment. Hello. They were such great characters. And honestly, what I loved about it was that Daisuke was not Fitzgerald and Daisuke as the power couple. Yes. If Haru wasn't around, I'd agree with you. I really liked Haru and Daisuke as characters and where their characters started at and how they ended up, because I didn't predict Daisuke's character to be like he was. I was expecting not to like him as much, and I really enjoyed his character quite a bit. And then Haru, like Haru was the big surprise of the entire series. I was expecting Miyano Mamoru to play him. That was like immediate like. I was like, anytime you have a character voiced by Miyano Mamoru, I'm instantly on board with. I'm like, thank you, great. This will be my favorite character, okay? So it's usually a guarantee. But I love that Haru's character was so much fun, and he was just he started out so straight laced, and Daisuke kind of showed him that he was the hero he always was. I love that. I love the contrast. I think Kaylin V in the comments was making it about Hoshino, which I did like Hoshino's character. Kaylin does not like Hoshino's character in the comments at all, which was funny. But I like Hoshino's character, right? And I like where he's gone throughout the series. But I like that Hoshino had thought that he had stopped being a hero. And Daisuke's like, no, Haru's always been a hero. And I was like, my heart. I'm like, yes, please. Hoshino was fun. I liked his character a lot more as the series went on. I liked that he was kind of a pincushion where Daisuke was just like, Daisuke kept looking at Hoshino like, oh, you're the X, right? You're the third wheel now. Okay, cool. Tell me where Haru is. It was wonderful. But yeah, Kiyomizu being the big red herring that I was so convinced was going to be a problem, and then he wasn't. But it had a lot of it. I was surprised at some angles at where it went. I didn't think that the characters that died would die. I was so surprised that this series actually went there. I thought that was really, really good. And it takes balls for some of the characters that in the series that you think, oh, they'll get out alive, they'll be fine. And then they don't. And you're like, oh, we're doing this. Okay, cool. But yeah, Anime Annie, definitely great character writing for Daisuke and Haru. Yes. Episode 10, I just got to looking at some of the comments for episode 10 today and then looking at the comments so far for episode 11. But I really think episode 10 is like the love letter episode. It is the perfect penultimate episode. I love episode 10. It was absolutely what I expected. Because usually when you have a short series that's 12 or 13 episodes long, usually that episode before the finale is where stuff goes down and the heart of everything is. And then the final episode is wrapping things up. And that's pretty much what happened with this series. Is episode 10 was like everything I wanted, all the shipping, everything, the resolution, the action, everything happened in episode 10. And then episode 11 was wrapping things up and revealing who the bad guy was and giving you that satisfying epilogue and, just rounding out the entire series. I was really, really happy about that. I was sad for the deaths in it. Like Tony Simi said, I didn't expect there to be legit deaths. There were, but I really liked it a lot. And I do, like Omaru says, appreciate an anime with some real stakes. Yes, that's the one thing that gets me when a series is not afraid to be like, oh, that character is going to die. And you're like, wait, what? No. And then they completely take them from you. It's makes you enticed to watch more, and it makes you care about the characters more because you don't know if something bad's going to happen. I honestly wondered if either Haru or Daisuke were going to die. I was really concerned for a minute, or something was the two of them. Something really bad was going to happen. Last couple episodes, I was like, I don't know. And I wanted to watch ahead because I wanted to know. I was like, I need to know just to be sure, just to see what's going to happen between them. Right. I did want to bring out Algum, who is on YouTube in comments, had pointed out that Hattori, who is the butler, they should have been suspicious all along because their name apparently ties to a very famous ninja in Japanese history. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm really glad that I don't know what names mean in Japanese, or that would have been a big old red flag. That would have said, oh, yep, they should be to watch. But in a mystery story, the butler's always suspicious all the time. And there were too many little loose threads. I was like, but I liked the way the show twisted it, where you didn't really know what the butler was doing and how they were involved until the very end. I liked that. I thought that was really, really good. But yeah, any type of mystery show that gives you red herrings, that makes you think certain things and then goes a totally different way and involves shipping and fan service. That whole butt shot of the nose and the butt in episode 10, the moment that happened, I was like, oh my God, show, you know exactly who your audience is and who is watching this. Which I don't know. We kind of are going in and out of order this. I've got some points written down in here to talk to you all about, but I guess I could go ahead and talk about my criticisms of the series and tell you all what they are. I think if you've watched the episode and you've read my comments, you kind of know I have two criticisms of the show, and we can talk about them in the comments. My one criticism is sometimes I don't like to know what characters' names mean. Yes, Amaru, I do agree. If you know what a character's name means, it usually gives off a hint. That's also why sometimes I don't like to know who the voice actors in a show are going to be until we find out the character, because sometimes voice actors are typecast. Sometimes when you hear a voice, you're like, oh, you're a bad guy. Okay. And then sometimes it's not. Like with Miyano Mamoru, I love him because he plays both protagonists that are not villains and villains. So you can't quite know for sure with Miyano going in, like what type of character he's going to play, which is fun. But you just know, Miyano's character is going to be extremely eccentric and ridiculous. And I'm fine. Which Haru was probably the most toned down Miyano Mamoru character I've ever watched. Like he's probably the most least eccentric character that I've seen him play a while. But I would say one of my criticisms of the series is that, like in episode 10, they give you these moments like with the nose and the butt and all of the contextual and subtextual things between Haru and Daisuke, that you just build up with their characters so much and you really get to know them. They have this great chemistry. They have the episode where they stay at each other's house and they sit up drinking sake and watching the crime dramas. You have all of this stuff happen with their characters. And then at the very end, at the last minute, they throw in Suzui and act like Haru has a crush on her. And I'm like, wait, what? You know your audience. You know who we are. You've been tailoring to us this entire time. Why are you throwing this in now? Why are you throwing this in now, show? What is this? That was probably my only thing that I didn't like about the last episode, was that it was unnecessary. And I know Anime Annie and some others have talked about it in their comments of like, we didn't need that. It was fine. You didn't have to say the Haru and Daisuke were together show, but you didn't have to throw in this forced heterosexual agenda that wasn't necessary. It is a big pet peeve. And I agree with Amy Annie. It's one of my biggest pet peeves is like, don't throw in a romance that is not developed. I don't care if it's a BL romance. I don't care if it's heterosexual. I don't care if it's aliens. I don't care what it is. But don't throw in a romance that's not developed and then ask me to take it seriously. Because that defeats the whole point, right? It's a big flaw in writing. I'm like, where did this come from? And I wouldn't have had a problem with Haru and Suzui as a couple if we had some development of their relationship. The most we get is like when he first meets her, he's like, oh, she's cute. But that's just a physical thing, right? I mean, how many characters do you like see in an anime and you go, oh, they're hot, but that doesn't mean you want to marry them, right? Unless it's Toji from Jujutsu Kaisen, and that's a whole different thing. But I would say that, you don't normally in real life, you don't just see somebody and say, oh, yep, going to be in a relationship with them in 2 months. Just you wait and see, just because you've seen them, right? You have to develop that relationship. You have to do build up, like Anime Annie is saying in the chat. You have to do build up. There has to be development. There has to be chemistry, and there has to be some kind of mutual attraction. And I feel like with Haru and Daisuke, there was so much mutual attraction. Like they were opposites attract, but they connected with one another. They both understood one another. They both had similar goals. And by the end of it, they were both working together. And you're like, okay, these guys could totally be in a relationship. And then I'm like, why is she suddenly a love interest? She's had no interest in Haru this whole time. She's been trying to set them up. Why would she have an interest with them? Omaru. The only case I'm fine with when at the series end and they do a time skip, even that can be kind of interesting, because I'm like, I was going to have a big old rant about it in Jujutsu Kaisen when I do the intro to episode 6. I'm going to save it for then, because I have like somebody was commenting about it and I have a reply to that. But I'm like, it is like Lemonade said, when you can tell a female character only exists to be the love interest of a plot point, and they only view them as a plot point rather than a character or human. Yes. My other big critique of this series is, can we talk about Suzui? Can we talk about her? Because I love her character a lot. I like Suzui quite a bit in this series. I feel like she is such a well-written character in terms of how they introduce her in, like, what was it, episode 3, where she's like, she's smart, she works on the tank, she's in charge of the entire computer unit, she helps to plan things. She's kind of like the brains behind her. But like Tony Simi said, they do her so dirty in this series. She has literally she needed so much more character development. But oh my gosh, she needed so much more character development. And I know that somebody in the comments, I don't remember if it was Tony or Anime Annie or who it was on YouTube that said it, but I do understand they only have 11 episodes to work with. And with 11 episodes, it makes sense you're going to focus on Haru and Daisuke. That makes total sense. I understand it. I get it. And if you're going to have Suzui just kind of be in the background, that's fine. But can we talk about the OP? Can we talk about the OP with Suzui? Because I am still baffled with what they did to her in the OP that makes no sense other than being objectification fan service. Because that's all it is. Like when I first saw that OP in episode 1, I thought, okay, Suzui, she's this femme, whoever this woman is. We didn't know it was Suzui at the time. I was like, she is going to be this femme fatale. She's possibly a villain. She's maybe a secret villain. She's related to Daisuke. And she's going to be like, the way they present her in the OP, she's very objectified. It's just her, like, her strapped semi-nude to the car. I'm like, if her personality was like a dominatrix or somebody that was like into S&M and into like that kinky sort of, if they're into bondage and stuff, I'm like, okay, cool. That's like something with their character. Awesome. Nice. That's going to tie into the story. She's drinking boba tea and has like a pink sweater on. She's the least interested in like S&M and bondage and stuff. I'm like, why? Why would you do that? Like if you were watching Skate the Infinity and the OP had like Adam strapped to a skateboard and like leather straps and stuff, you go, no, that makes sense. That's totally legit. I understand that. that fits the narrative, fits the character. But when it doesn't fit the character, it's objectification. And it was literally just showing this semi-nude woman on this cover. And I love the jewels. Like, I love the shot with her and the nails where it's the close-up of her face in the OP. I love the shot of the close-up of her face where she has, like, the glitter lipstick and the nails, like, the opulence, because she's with Daisuke, the Kanbei family, and it's very opulent and rich and extravagant. I love that part. But, like, her with the knife made no sense. I was like, well, is that a red herring that she's going to, like, be some kind of femme fatale? I don't know. But I don't know. And Omaru says they adapted from a novel. So, and that's again my problem is if you were adapting from a novel and you were cutting that, that's fine. But don't show it in the OP if you're not going to give up the goods in the actual show, right? Don't do that. And plus, like Anime Annie said, there was no, if you're going to objectify her, what about Haru and Daisuke? There was no shirtless ab shots of Daisuke or Haru anywhere, right? The most we get of that is just in the ED where they're like in the box, very Chainsaw Man style, like that. But I didn't like it. And as a female viewer, I was kind of like, wow, cool. I was like, we haven't seen this happen 1,000 times. And it just kind of reflects on the audience because the audience, you think, I'm like, does the animators in the studio know that their audience doesn't want to see this? What do they think about this? It didn't fit. And it made me think there'd be a lot more with Suzui's character than there actually was. And then I got frustrated because then by the end of the series, when you see that it was a red herring and had nothing, it was like a non sequitur, had nothing to do with the series, then it just frustrates you and you're like, well, that was a waste of my time. But yeah, I love Suzui's character and I wanted to see more of her. And I thought she could have, had more content, but I do understand that they only had 11 episodes to work with and they could only flesh her out so much. And what she did do, I liked about that character. But Lemonade, I feel bad, but the way animes always make female hypersexual and don't consider their character pushes me to consume shoujos. Yes, with mostly male casts. Yes, I completely understand that. I do appreciate that a lot of more modern shonen are kind of moving towards understanding that some of their audience reading are women. And so maybe they should treat their female characters better. I think of My Hero Academia. I think of Jujutsu Kaisen. I think of Demon Slayer. I feel like in those series, the female characters are handled better, especially Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man. Those two they're like the feminist. Chainsaw Man's the feminist series of the century. No. I really like that some shonen series are getting better with that. And I will say, even Berserk, what I'm looking at with Berserk right now, has like the female characters in that series, I feel like are handled well and have a lot of dimension to them, which is fun. So, I mean, it's not like it's a new concept. It's not like it's never been done before, but I feel like there was a period in the early 2000s, especially when I was watching anime manga, that really got away from that. And I was like, it did a disservice to that target audience they could have reached, right? Oh, a spinoff. Man, Omaru, I wish we would have a spinoff, a Suzui spinoff. I would take a second season of Millionaire Detective. I would love that. I think that would be great. I would honestly, I feel like the way that this series ends, they set themselves up where you could do a sequel season if you wanted to, which would be fine. Tony Simi, the mangaka for Berserk, also talked to a lot of female shows. Yes, the female mangaka that creates Yona of the Dawn was apparently a really good friend of the mangaka for Berserk, which I think is amazing. I love that. And I love that they asked the female shoujo writers how they should write female characters. Kudos to him. Yes, that's what I love, is that if you don't know how to write a character, ask someone with experience. That'd be awesome. Annie, I would almost love to see a spin-off series of Suzui on her vacations. If we just had Suzui, like if we just had like little mini episodes that were 5 minutes long of Suzui going on vacation in different spots around the world, and then we just cut meanwhile to like Haru and Daisuke like in these dire near-death situations, and they're like, Suzui, and she's like, I'm drinking a mojito, leave me alone. That would be a lot of fun. I would love that. Absolutely would love that. I did want to bring up, I brought up the OP and ED lyrics. Somebody had asked me to look at the OP and ED lyrics for this series. With the OP, I will forever think that the OP from Millionaire Detective starts up with saying, like, what does it say, bitched up or something? Bitch slap. Like it's supposed to be big shot, but it makes me sound like bitch slap. It's amazing. But when I go all night, I need, oh, there's Huckleberry. There you be. I'm looking at the lyrics to the OP right now. I'm not seeing anything that stands out too much. It all seems pretty nice. The No Limit. I will say the OP song, amazing. I love the OP. The OP for this series is such a bop. It's such a jam. It's one of those songs you want to play while driving down the highway going like 70. It's so good. It just makes you feel rich and elegant when you listen to it. And I absolutely love it. And then the ED, welcome my friend. I did like the ED too. The ED gave me a lot of Link Click vibes, which if you've been watching Link Click, the ending song kind of had that little same like note that starts in with it. It was pretty good. I liked it. Everybody's here. Show must go on. And I need you now more than ever. Wow. So there you go. We're just doing the ED lyrics are just going to be about Haru and Daisuke. Uh-huh. Nice. It's such a sin. I wish it never ends. Look at that. I did like the OP and ED for this series. They were a lot of fun. They were nice. Very nice indeed. As far as the criticisms, those are my two main ones. Just mainly Suzui and the fact that they tried to like, I don't like the phrase no homo. I don't like that at all, but I'm just like the phrase like make it hetero. That just seems to be more apt of what they end up doing sometimes. What always gets me is the shonen, and the female love interest have had zero chemistry, zero connection the entire series. And then at the end, they do a time skip and there's 6 kids. And I'm like, when did this happen? I'm sorry, mangaka. If you could go back a few chapters and give us their romance, I'd really appreciate that. I would like that a lot. Please do that for me. 3,2000. The crazy thing is the anime season for the story is about Daisuke, but the live action is a story about Haru. See, the live action stage play, that's cool that it's about Haru. That's really cool. I like that. That's really, I wish they would do like another season where it was kind of like the live stage where it was about Haru. That would be really nice. A lot of animes, but yaoi and yuri bait. Yeah, I mean, it's a fine line. There is a fine line, Omaru, I think, between whether it's BL bait or not. And my thing is always, unless it's canon by the author, unless the author says, I'm very much a believer in death of the author, that once they throw something out there for an audience, it's pretty much free for all, free game over what the audience decides to do with it. So what I think is that once they put it out there, unless the mangaka explicitly states, no, these characters are not together, then the fandom can do whatever they like with it. If you see it in the story and there's subtext there and there's chemistry and there's a connection, why can't we ship them? You know, I don't see the problem with it, honestly. And I think that it's fine to make what you want with it, as long as like it makes sense and as long as it's not like toxic or something. But I'm very much the believer that until the mangaka comes out and says, oh no, they are not together, then it's a free for all. And usually when a mangaka doesn't say anything, it means they're not against it. So usually the anime is season 1, live action season 2. Yeah, I would like to see the stage play for Millionaire Detective. What I would really like to see is the audio drama. I didn't realize whenever the audio drama was brought up, I was really excited because I was like, oh, the audio drama's here. That'll be so much fun to listen to. And then people on Discord were pointing out, like, yeah, the English script is like, it's like in a Disney vault somewhere. Nobody knows where it's at. They can't find the script for the audio drama. I'm like, that sucks so much. There was somebody, though, that said they were going to look for it. I think Cherry on Patreon said they were going to try to look for it and find it. And if they could make the audio drama, put it out there. And I'm like, that would be amazing. I would love that. Because I would love to listen to the audio drama. It's supposed to be about when they go overseas together. And I'm like, that seems like it's just right for shipping fuel. I need that, right? Anime Annie, the song gets stuck in your head. Just the images for the opening aren't good enough for me, except for Daisuke taking his tie off. But see, and that's so in character for Daisuke because he has the cigars. He's very much trying to be the suave, debonair James Bond figure. So the loosening of the tie makes a lot of sense. And it's like, can we equate him loosening a tie to Suzui strapped over a car semi-nude? No. If you're going to have him in that pool of money, have him nude in the pool of money show. Get some balls. Let's do this. The thing I love is romances, so I wish they didn't skip it. I know. I honestly am a big, like, romantic nerd. I am, like, a sucker for romance, and when it's done well. When it's not done well, I get aggravated. But when it's done well, I'm like, yes, chef's kiss, give me all of it, please. That's what headcanons and fan fiction are for. Anime Annie, I agree. The fan fiction, I am excited now that I'm done with this series. The floodgates are open. I can look at all of the fan art. I can see all the fan fiction. I'm really excited because I'm sure there are some very creative fanfics out there for this series, because there were a lot of scenes like the episode, was it episode 7 when they're together in the apartment? That seemed like it was like just lending itself to be, you know, fan fiction territory. We're all about equality if there's objectification. Yes, this is feminism. We're about equality between genders. If we're going to objectify one gender, we might as well do the other one. Might as well make it fair for everyone. Tony Simi, there is a certain series where it isn't stated in the series that there is a gay couple, but it is really obvious, and the creators are shipping it as themselves. That's the thing. I think that a lot of it, and this kind of will tie into Jujutsu Kaisen when I get to the intro that I want to do, is that I feel like a lot of times that the mangaka want to ship things, but they are afraid of fandom backlash, and their editors are afraid of backlash, because once you make a ship out there and it's canon, and if part of the fandom doesn't like it, then the editors are looking at it in terms of sales, and not sales on a ship, like sales in terms of money. And the mangaka is thinking, well, I want to be able, I can see why mangaka don't have ships in shonen, because there's lots of plot elements and they want to keep things as open for possibilities as possible. And if you're doing a weekly series, you don't necessarily want to tie down a ship because you may change that along the way. So I get why they do that. But I feel like there's such a stigma still against same-sex relationships in just mainstream media, and a mangaka admitting that there is a same-sex relationship in a series is a big step, because if there's backlash, then they're like, do I want to deal with this or not? So in my opinion, I think 9 times out of 10, the mangaka don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with the potential backlash. So they're like, here's all this subtext and context. Can you get what I'm laying down? And if you do, then we're good, right? Because I had someone comment, I'll just say the Jujutsu Kaisen thing. I might as well just say it. I had someone comment that they didn't think that Gojo and Geto were necessarily needing to be in a relationship. And I was like, I was like, have you watched the same series I've watched? Are we seeing the same thing? Are we looking at the same thing? Come on, you know. I think that's the one case where Gege is like, oh no, that yes, they are definitely soulmates. They are very much a couple. Like I'm like, yes, I was like, there is no way in hell that Sato Sugo is not real. I'm like, there's no way in the world that that's not. I'm like, yes. And I think what's so fascinating about it, and what I want to talk about in the video, is that Geto and Gojo are so kind of like Haru and Daisuke, right? Neither Haru and Daisuke nor Gojo and Geto, neither of them are necessarily effeminate at all. And I think there is a cultural perception that if there is a same-sex relationship, somebody in the relationship has to be feminine. I think that there's this conception that if there is a same-sex relationship, someone in the couple has to have feminine energy. And that's not real. That's not the case. Yeah, sure. There's lots of same-sex couples where that is the case, but it's not necessary. You can have two characters that both exude masculine energy. It's fine. And they still like each other, right? And I feel that's the way with Haru and Daisuke, and I feel it's the way with Gojo and Geto. Is yeah, they are totally emblematic of masculinity and power and everything else, but they also love each other. So, I mean, I guess you could argue Gojo has like the feminine, like the doll eyes and the pretty features, but I'm like, yeah, like Lemonade says, the forced woman one in a BL ship, which is not necessarily the case, right? And Anime Annie, there's also a stigma against there being romance elements in shonen until the story is wrapping up. Yes, thank you. I absolutely agree that I think that you can have multiple genres within a series and it's still fine. You can have romance in your shonen and it's fine. Again, I'm going to bring up Berserk because it's blowing my mind right now that this series from the 90s is featuring all this like blood, guts, gore, and violence. And yet I'm sitting here as someone that loves romance and shipping, and I'm losing my mind with how much I love it because it's giving me all that I want. It's giving me romance vibes. It's giving me angst. It's giving me passion and emotions. And yet there's a guy losing his head every 5 seconds. Like, it's great. It's wonderful. It's one of my favorite series right now because I'm just absolutely in love with it and what it's giving. Yes. And so I agree, Tony Simi, like Haru and Daisuke, neither of them have this feminine energy and it's perfectly fine. If a shonen isn't romance, it barely never has romance into the last chapter. And it's really annoying. I know. I eventually at some point later this, probably this winter will be probably when I get to it. I want to start watching the new arc for Bleach. And I love Bleach. But one of my things about Bleach is that Kubo had no interest in writing romance, which is fine. It's fine, but then don't give us the romance if you don't want to write it. So, Amaru, no, I have not read the manga. I am currently starting the anime right now. It's on every Saturday at noon Central Standard Time, and I'm watching the anime first, and then I will read the manga. So please, no spoilers. Hints or clues. I will be getting to it though. Yes. Did you know, Star? I feel like the Gojo and Geto thing was played well. Like it didn't overwhelm you. No, that's the thing. If you ship them, then you can go wild and get crazy with it like I have the last 4 weeks. But if you don't ship them, or if you're not a shipper, or if you don't explicitly see it, it's fine. My only deal is when people tell me that there's no romance between them, and I'm like, well, sir, I happen to disagree. That's my only thing, right? I think that you don't have to ship characters. It's fine, but then it's like, you know, it's okay if you do or not. Girl groceries. I haven't watched Millionaire Detective yet. I don't mind spoilers though. And I'm probably gonna say hi for the discussion. Well, oh, I was non-binary shit long. Hello, yay, awesome. Girl groceries. I like that. I like both of those usernames. Those are great. I definitely recommend Millionaire Detective. We've been talking about it kind of on and off with this and kind of how it plays with other shows. I definitely recommend it. It is kind of a flash in the pan series where you can watch it. It's quick. If you need something, if you need an anime fix and you want something really quick, you can watch in like a day or two and binge it. Definitely highly recommend it. Right. Tony Simi, if shoujo can make action with romance, so can shonen. Yeah, Yona the Dawn is like the biggest example of that. Like Yona the Dawn, Banana Fish is a shoujo. Banana Fish is a shoujo, y'all. If Banana Fish can do it, so can everything else. Let me see. Let me see here. It brings out a PowerPoint presentation of why you ship it. Oh, girl. Tony Simi, I did not mean to say girl there if that was not the case, but Tony Simi, I you have no idea. I am already planning the intro for episode 6 of season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen, and I think I'm gonna have to do it separate. I think I'm gonna save the comments that are non-related to Geto and Gojo for the opening of episode 6, but I'm honestly considering doing an entire just intro, a hiatus segment. I'm probably gonna do a hiatus segment for the KFC breakup and the Board of Gay Yearning and bring that back out maybe the weekend before episode 6 comes out, just to kind of just get it off my chest, because there's already so much that I'm like, I want to say this, and just bring it out there. And plus, the hiatus has not been good for me. I missed Jujutsu Kaisen so much. The moderators, I'm sure, are having a great time, because I know Floor, one of the moderators, has been going through all the Jujutsu Kaisen comments, and they're like, you guys write some novels. I'm like, yes, there's so much to talk about with that show, right? Some shonen slice of life do romance well, but I can count action shonen with well-written romance on one hand. Yeah, it's hard, and I don't know if that's just that the mangaka are not comfortable with it, so they avoid it, or what the case may be. And I'm fine. Like Anime Annie says, I'm totally fine with no shonen, with no romance in my shonen. I can add romance in fanfic, but forced romance is annoying. Yes, I totally agree. I would say Vinland Saga is a great example of that. Vinland Saga, even though I know it's a sign-in, Vinland Saga is very action-packed. I love that series. It's one of my favorites. But there's not a lot of romance in it, and that's fine. It doesn't have to have it. Attack on Titan doesn't have a lot of romance in it, and it's totally fine. There's enough context that the fanfic people can go crazy with it. It's so cool. It's totally fine. There's a lot of people joining the chat. Jackie, love the Board of Gay Yearning. Yes, the Board of Gay Yearning. Yes, it will be coming back for before episode 6. Absolutely. Be happy. Yay. Awesome. There are some cases authors want to make a brotherly relationship between characters, but it turns yaoi bait quickly. I will say, Omaru, that to me, there's a fine line with that. There's a fine line between, and then here's the thing. Some people think that, I've had some people comment being like, oh, well, just because there's 2 guy characters in them, you ship them. And I'm like, no, that's not the case. Like, well, if we take Millionaire Detective, for example, Cho and Takai, 2 guy characters. Do I ship them? No, they're just bros. Kame and Haru, do I ship them? No, they're bros. Hoshino and Haru, I could see that there maybe was something there, because Hoshino, the way he acts around Haru, but no. But then Daisuke and Haru, their whole relationship, yeah, it explicitly is like, yeah, maybe it's more than friendship. If you sit there and watch 2 guys do something in the show and you ask yourself, do I do that with my male friend? And the answer is no, and you're not gay, then maybe then those characters might be. That's always my rule of thumb. If I'm like, would I do this with my heterosexual friend? And if the answer is no, then I'm like, I might have to think about that a little bit, right? I think there is a fine line there, and you can use Jujutsu Kaisen as an example. Toto and Yuji, there's no BL bait there. They are just friends. They are friends. They are bros. They are best friendos forever. But there's nothing there. But then you have a character like Megumi and Yuji, and like Anime Annie is saying in the comments, tone of voice, body language, non-verbals, I think, say a lot for a relationship. I agree with Be Happy. Hoshino has a hero adoration for Haru. It's not really ship. It's more of like the adoration. And a lot of times it can be one-sided, where a character in a series may have those feelings for a character, but it's unrequited. They don't get those back. So I do think that some series, I'm not saying yaoi bait doesn't exist, because I do think it does, but I do think that it's fine. I think that it's fine if you ship 2 male characters. It doesn't mean you ship all male characters together. Just like same way with girls. You don't ship all female characters together. It's the body language. There are markers, and sometimes funny is that, in a sports anime, because your characters are always together in these tight-knit places and they're always like bonding together, that sports anime is like it's like a petri dish of BL tropes waiting to happen. Right? And I think Kroger's, but then you have Kroger's basketball, where sometimes I'm just like, there's been so many times in the extras for Kroger's basketball, I've looked at that going, straight people don't do this. And I'm like, I don't know. And then, maybe characters are bisexual, pansexual. Can we really, tie someone down? I don't think so. Let me go to the chat here and say, and even then I think, Tony Simi, I think it's fine if people want to ship it. Yes, I think at the end of the day, these are fictional characters. If we want to ship them with fictional characters, it is totally fine. And we all don't have to agree on the same ship. That's why I like multi-shipping. You can find all different kinds of ships with things and really enjoy it. But yeah, I do think that in Millionaire Detective, the one main ship that stood out was Haru and Daisuke. And I think the others were kind of just, they were what they were, right? Although for a little bit, it seemed like Kiyomizu and Cho, there was something maybe there. I don't know. I'm going to crack ship it. It's fine. Animation choices. Yes, with symbolism and flowers, the damn flowers in every anime. Every anime that brings up a hydrangea, I'm like, oh, so we're going to be a bisexual episode. Is that what's going to happen? Every time a damn hydrangea is brought up, it's just like, let's just go with it, right? The nostalgia of whom we ship Miyuki with. Oh, Amaru. Oh, such nostalgia. I will always bring up Ace of the Diamond. It's great. Girl groceries. Yaoi bait and queer bait is too overused these days. To be honest, just because a queer ship is popular as a headcanon doesn't mean it's bait or the author intended it that way. Yes, I do believe that there is that death of the author factor, that once the author puts these characters out there, a lot of times fandoms kind of run with it. And they're like, oh, well, this could be the case and this could be the case. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. My whole thing is just you ship who you want to in a series, and it's cool to celebrate it. The only thing that gets aggravating is if people are like, oh, well, you're wrong. And I'm like, it's a fictional story. Are we wrong? And I think that's only the case of the mangaka. I'm like, unless the mangaka comes out and says, Romania, you are wrong, I'm going to be like, okay, you called it. I'm good. I respect your choice, author. But unless they say that, I'm like, nah, we can do whatever we want. The extras for Kuroko Basketball explains why some people call it Kuroko no Harem. The funny thing is, it could be a harem on a lot of levels. I'm telling you, the live stream for Kuroko's Basketball is going to be ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm not ready for it. Nope, not at all. Hydrangea is the new rainbow flag in anime. I think it's the bisexual flag because usually when they do the hydrangeas in anime, they do the red one, the magenta one, and the blue one, or they do the variations of the bisexual colors in there. And a lot of times people will be like, well, that's just the way it is. I'm like, well, hydrangea grow in different pH levels, so they're doing it intentionally because my mother had hydrangeas and they were all white. So that was just the way the soil was. So yeah, as far as Millionaire Detective, because we've gotten so off course and we're like nearly an hour into this, is there anything else question-wise with Millionaire Detective we want to talk about? Or we can just open up the floor for whatever. It's going to be the last live stream for a while, so why not? It adds to the characters. Yes. Yes, and I like the idea that Tony Simi saying that word queer bait because people use it for ships that are implicit to be couples. Yeah, it is. I feel like there's a lot of words that are overused in public dialogue about analyzing characters and shipping. I just like shipping because it's fun. I'm a big romantic nerd and I love romance. And so anytime I get the chance to celebrate it in a series, I want to do that because I know a lot of people don't. And I know a lot of fandoms get very divided and very fierce and competitive with ships. And for me, I'm like, we can totally ship whatever. It's fine. I think that it's fun to celebrate the couples that you like in a series. Omar, Rika Mamoy. Yes, I definitely understand that ship. That ship is valid. Definitely understand that. And yes, that is a thing too, Lemonade. I feel like it's such a thing where you can pretty much, okay, I'm going to use my example. My example I was going to use for Jujutsu Kaisen is from Bleach. And in Bleach, sorry if I'm spoiling Bleach for y'all, but it's been around for 20 years. Y'all should know this by now. You probably, if you don't, I'm sorry. Just ignore me. But in Bleach, you have Ichigo and Orihime that are a ship, right? There is no romance. I love Bleach to death. I read all the volumes. I read all the chapters. I read it for nearly 15 years. I was shipping Ichigo and Orihime hardcore. I was a hardcore shipper, but even I knew that there was like no romantic moments between any of them. At any point, Ichigo and Orihime, the most they ever did was in a non-canon movie, she hugged him. And he had his back to her. She like hugged him and he had his back to her and he was like, thanks. And then just left. And I was like, that's all. And at the time I was eating it up like popcorn because I was like, that's the most physical contact we've gotten between those characters at all. And I was like, oh, Omaru, don't say that. Orihime is one of my favorites. But I was so mad because I was like, at the time I felt like I was being like given a little tiny IV of shipping where I was like, oh, come on, give me the shipping. And then I was like, I was just wanting more with those two, and we never got it. And until the last chapter, right? And I know, be happy. I know about the Hueco Mundo confession. I know. But it's just like you were just like begging for scraps of shipping with Ichigo and Horihime. And so, like what Lemonade is saying, you have people that were hardcore shipping either Ichigo and Rika and Rukia or Hime and Ichigo when there's really not any canon stuff there to go off of, except like I can count on these two hands the moments with Orihime and Ichigo, which I love. They're like one of my favorite ships. Here we go. But then you have characters that are like Geto and Gojo, who in 3 episodes, there was more sexual chemistry between Geto and Gojo, between Ichigo and Orihime in 373 episodes. Like, that's what I'm getting at, right? That's what I'm getting at. I was just like, oh my God. I'm like, it took 370 episodes to build the same sexual chemistry between those two characters. Then Gojo and Geto got in 3 episodes. And then that's why I'm shipping them. And so I'm like, of course it's canon, right? Yes. Ichigo and Aizen are the real canon ship. Oh my God. No. Oh my God. That's amazing. I don't know how to deal with that. Yes, I definitely agree. It's just like, oh my gosh. Lemonade, I need to know what series you're talking about, because I have a series where something similar happens at Tony Simi. But yeah, it's just, Gojo and Geto are definitely something, and they are, everything about them. It very much reads like Eiji and Ash and Banana Fish, has the same soulmate vibe. And with Eiji and Ash in that series, I feel like Eiji and Ash are a great representation. I'm going to tie it back to Millionaire Detective. I feel like Eiji and Ash are very similar to Haru and Daisuke, where there is context there that if you want to romantically ship them, obviously it's right there. You just reach up, grab it, and go. And then, but if you don't want to do that, and you just want to view them as like queer platonic soulmates, go for it. Like, that would totally be acceptable, right? Let me see. Look at the chat here. Oh, Nikki Biddy, hi, welcome to the stream. And hello, it's great to have you guys here. You haven't faced the true horrors unless you've shipped 2 characters that haven't even met in canon. The crack shipping extravaganza. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes, the Gojo and Geto chemistry is palpable. And watching the movie for Jujutsu Kaisen and seeing the chemistry, I was like, what are we getting into? And then season 2 has been just a blast. Aizen and Chair-sama. Oh, y'all, I cannot wait to get into Bleach this fall, to get back into the series, see Aizen and Chair-sama. Cannot wait, and see my favorite version of Aizen ever. The best version of Aizen is to come in this. And I don't want to know, but we've probably gotten to this in the anime at this point. But my favorite version of Aizen is horny for science Aizen. I'm so excited. I'm so ready. I can't wait. The movie was such a tease of Gojo and Geto. Yes, absolutely. And I felt like it was a great thing for anime-only people like myself to see the Jujutsu Kaisen movie and go, wait, what is this chemistry? What's happening? And then I had somebody comment on episode 5 of Jujutsu Kaisen today that came out yesterday. I had somebody commenting that I was having a lot of fun with the Jujutsu Kaisen intros. And I'm like, yes, I've waited 2 years for this series to come out. So I've had all this hype build up inside of me, and it's just all leaking out now, which is exciting. Be happy. Romania, that's my Yuri, not Aizen. Oh, but be happy. When we get to that scene in Bleach, when we get to it, I'm going to have so much fun talking about it, but it won't make any sense if you're not a Bleach person. Yes. Oh, Tony Simi, Kubo's artwork with Bleach. His artwork is immaculate. He's like one of my favorite mangaka for artwork. Like, his character designs, so good. Backgrounds, not so much, but talk about that. I basically watched Bleach and read the manga. I've read the entire manga for Bleach, but I've watched it up until the new arc started, and I'm waiting till this fall. I want to do a review video, kind of like the Buddy Daddies video. I want to do it in the same format where it's just a big overhaul of Bleach and all of the things about Bleach that I like, and the reception of it leading up into the new season. But it's going to take me a long time to make that video. So I'm waiting till I get a few of these series that are out right now done before I can start with it. Yes. So like Link Click, I want to get done with Link Click. I want to get done with the Attack on Titan manga. I want to get done with the Kuroko's basketball manga. I'm about manga'd out, if I'm honest. If I'm honest with y'all, I know I'm going to read Berserk, but that's going to be like at the start of 2024. So I have some time to like get myself back in, but I am about manga'd out. I'm going to say that. After I'm done with Attack on Titan and Kuroko's basketball, the Berserk manga is probably the only one I'm going to consistently review, maybe. And then unless it's like something like Yona the Dawn or Seraph of the End that I'm keeping up with, then I'll probably get into those. Yes, be happy. I'm so excited for Bleach. I can't wait to get to it. My brother's been like, have you been watching it? I was like, no, I got to get through this other stuff first. It's like, mm-hmm. Oh, the new Link Clip episodes. Yes. Oh my God. So yes, episode 5 is coming out tomorrow on Patreon, the next week on YouTube. Link Click is just, I guess, at this point, if y'all don't have any questions about Millionaire Detective, I've got some time. We can talk about fall series because I wanted to do that. Link Click, I'm losing my mind too. We're having so much fun with it on the Discord, thinking up theories and talking about it in the comments with you all. It's so insane. And it's one of those series I really love because I have no clue what's going on. And I'm like, it's great. Yes. No, Did You Know Star? We're all brain dead too. None of us are sane. We're all running around like the SpongeBob meme where there's a fire and we're running around with our heads cut off. It's insanity. I'm just like up for anything this stream. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I'm up for talking about anything now. We can talk about Millionaire Detective, but I highly recommend it. You should watch it. But I had someone say that they preferred that they were comparing Millionaire Detective to Great Pretender. I would say that these are two series now that I both wish were longer and did a couple things different, but I really liked both of them for different reasons. So I definitely would link this kind of up there. I think I like this more than Great Pretender, honestly, though. If I were SpongeBob, I'd like to be Gary. Oh, Gary would be great. If I was in SpongeBob, I would probably be Squidward. I'd probably be a shipping Squidward, would probably be the case, right? It's not clicking for Link Click fans. Yes, I think it will all click when it's said and done, right? I think it will. Oh, hot take from Millionaire Detective. Daisuke with his hair down is hotter. No, fact, be happy. Daisuke with his hair down looks amazing. I was like, if Haru saw that, he would have been like, forget you, Sizue. Like, let's go. The first thing I heard was Sasana Sugo. Again, at this point, it's just my whole brain is like, I can see the board of gay yearning from over here. It's like up against the wall here. It's just every time I start a reaction, the first thing when I look over here is the board of gay yearning. So there is. Yeah, Daisuke with his hair down is very much enjoyable. I really am glad, Niku, that Link Click is getting a lot more press as well, because it definitely deserves it. I feel it's really underrated. The first season was so good, and the second season, I was worried about the second season. I was worried that it wasn't going to match up, but it so far has been exactly what I was hoping it would be. Don't be a Hunter x Hunter fan. Oh, Amaru, I can understand. I need to eventually go back and rewatch Hunter x Hunter and get caught up to where I was when I started the channel, and then go from there. Those brain worms, yes. The eyelash theory. Oh my God. Yes, I've got that ready for episode 6. I've got the whole eyelash theory ready to go to bring up with episode 6 with all of that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Yes, Gin, Link Click. Once you get in, you're going to like fall into this rabbit hole and join us with the madness. It's a brain rot for sure. Oh, Wangshin and Gojo Ghetto. Yes, I feel like Wangshin is like what happens if Gojo Ghetto was happy at the end. But Hualien is feeling my happy vibes of couple vibes right now. So anytime I get angsty with a couple, I'm just like, okay, Wangshin and Hualien, MXTX, help me. And then I can go to them for some great ships as well. So yeah, speaking of Jujutsu Kaisen, I've told everybody this over on Patreon and I'm up about it today. But since we are sadly on hiatus with Jujutsu Kaisen, I do have some extras that I want to get caught up on and put out on the channel in its place until it comes back at the end of the month. So right now, I did look at Seraph of the End, Volume 30. I did the reaction to it. It's out on Patreon right now. It'll be out on YouTube next week. I have obviously the Owner of the Dawn volume I've got to get to. I was actually sent today, someone on Twitter sent me the link to Sasaki to Miyano, the graduation arc movie. I was like, apparently they did September subs, did some subs for it. So I was like, awesome. I haven't thought of Sasaki to Miyano in like a year. So I'm definitely going to get to it and do that. And then another thing is I was sent the stage play for Bungo Stray Dogs, Cannibalism. So I will get to it. The Cannibalism, the stage play one is going to take me the longest. So it may be the last one that I do, only because the stage play, there was explicit rules that said that we could not do any type of re-releasing of the content, by copyright. And I want to respect that because I don't want my channel getting in trouble. So I'm going to have to find some like ways to do the reaction, but not have sound and maybe do screenshots or things like that. It's going to take a lot of editing. So it's probably gonna be the last thing that I do. Jackie, apparently the Sasaki Miyano graduation arc movie is out. It's like an hour long. Apparently it's out. I didn't know it was out. But someone on Twitter sent me a link that this fan group did fan subs for it. And they're the ones who did fan subs for the OVAs. And they actually did the fan subs for Sasaki to Miyano when I reacted to it on the channel because they weren't happy with the fan subs that Funimation had done. So I am going to do Sasaki to Miyano at some point. I'm really excited. I didn't think it was coming out anytime soon. That it makes me very happy. Oh, the KFC breakup getting animated. Yes, again. I definitely, I'm not saying that I've purchased a Gojo wig. I'm not saying that I may have to order KFC and do a Board of Gay Yearning recap as Gojo eating KFC out of a bucket with his glasses on. I'm not saying that has to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it may be planned. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with that. Oh, those are just plans. I don't know if that'll actually come through, but I think it would be hilarious to see Gojo standing in front of the Board of Gay Yearning with his glasses eating a bucket of, of chicken. I don't know how this is going to work. Short wigs may not work. I don't know. What a tease. Yes, I really wanted to do a Gojo cosplay. I really did. But I wanted the big giant wig, but my hair is not short enough and it would not go up into the short wig. It's gonna look awkward enough with a blonde wig on with a bleach blonde hair. But yeah, the KFC Twitter account user that was in charge of that during the whole episode with the breakup was just absolutely having a blast answering everyone's questions and being like, hey, you just know that they were enjoying themselves. But I'm really excited. I also want to cosplay as Yuki at some point. I want to cosplay as her with the big blonde wig. I think that would be a lot of fun. And then obviously do not Nobara again because I love putting my hair up in the buns now and I want to do it more. Yes. Gojo putting those brains to use for whiteboard Kun. Mm-hmm. Yes, I like shorter wigs are going to be hard, so I'm going to have to play around with it. I'd be happy. I almost bought the hair up wig for Gojo, and then I thought, wait, could I just? What if I just reacted to the episode with the blindfold on? If I just did the recap, if I just reacted to the recap, and it's just me with the blindfold, just sitting there like. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that would have been ridiculous. That would have been ridiculous. Hey, Nicholas. Yeah. A real blind reaction. Yes. I'm going in this blind Gojo style. Yes, absolutely. That would have been amazing. I should have a true blind reaction. Yes. A revolutionary idea, changing the game, like hitting the home runs, just such a game changer. Huckleberry would not help me. No, be happy. Huckleberry, I feel bad because the last several weeks, I have two corgis now. I have Ruby and Huckleberry. And about midday, if I decide to do a reaction, they decide to run around and bark at each other, which is fine. I'm glad they're playing with each other. I'm glad they don't bother me. But I'll be like sitting here doing a reaction and you'll hear like on the background. I'm just like, everybody is hearing that and they're probably not happy. So thank you all for not complaining about that in the reactions, because there have been a couple of times I'm like, stop talking. Like, tell your kids to shut up, You're like, quit it. Mommy's doing a thing. Oh, actually a blind reaction. Oh my gosh. I'm glad you all like it. Yes. Okay, when you've got an eye covering. We're used to them now. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad they don't, because every now and then I feel like a mom being like, "Mama's got to do a thing. Get out." I try to give them a bone usually before I do a reaction to try to calm them down, because usually that helps out a lot. And then they disappear. There's been a couple jump scares though. Like I'll be editing a video and I'll see a jump scare where Huckleberry like jumped up and was doing this in the screen. I was like, "Oh God." Ridiculous, ridiculous. They just poke their heads every now and then, being like, I think my favorite was I was doing an Attack on Titan reaction, and it was a really sad episode. And I was like having a moment where I was really, really upset. And Huckleberry came up to me like, "Are you okay, human?" I just like, "Why are you losing your mind?" And I was like, "It's just the story is sad." And then this had a moment like that. That was really fun. I remember going back and editing, going, "He was there for me. That was really nice." Yeah, yes, be happy. That's exactly the episode where I was like, and Huckleberry's like, "Are you okay, man?" And I was like, "No." This new anime, Cyber, what are you doing here? Coming here to cause chaos? Coming here to cause chaos? Exactly. So yeah, that's the plan. I've got my calendar over here of things that are happening. Omaru, I would totally get a cat. My problem is Huckleberry hates cats. He actually does not like any other animals except dogs. He has like killed a groundhog. He's attacked a kitten before. He's actually a mass murderer. he's actually like, here's the thing. Huckleberry is an Aries, like Aaron Yeager. he's actually, yeah, he's kind of a mass murderer. I just put up with him. He's an Aries. We can't help it. No. But yes, and I don't have like room to have like an area where the cat could go to. I'd have to like put a cat condo or something, but I'd be afraid that Huckleberry would attack him. Yeah, Huckleberry is not nice to other animals except dogs and people. He loves people, he loves other dogs, but animals other than that, he's like, no, he is the Aaron dog. Yes, Huckleberry has his circle of people, and then everything else he's like, let's just get them out of the way. Yeah. Now Ruby, on the other hand, Ruby is like she's a peach. She's like friends with everybody. Every animal we're totally fine with. But Huckleberry, he killed a groundhog outside one day, and I freaked out. I was just like, "What are you doing?" And he just guts. He acted like Guts from Berserk. He just shook it and like tossed it aside. I was like, "Oh my God." It was pretty scary. But yes. Yeah. I was like, Huckleberry seems all nice and gentle until he decides that you're not another dog or a person. I'm like, yes. Yeah, not good. All right. But everybody's like, "Oh my God, the truth of Huckleberry comes out." Yes, he's a sweet bean. He just doesn't like. Maybe he's seen Attack on Titan. Oh my God. Yeah. Huckleberry, he's an Aries. What can we do? What can we do with him? Oh, Annie, my dog tried to scare off Billy Goat. No, luckily there's no other goats there. Another day, another crime. Yes, yes. So yeah, I'm looking at the schedule. That's just what I've got up. The next 2 weeks, going to get some extras done with everything. Link Click is going to be going on for several more weeks. We're just now at the halfway point. Trigun, going to be doing Trigun and then Trigun Stampede. I was telling everybody in the Discord for Trigun that I've just recently pre-ordered the manga for Trigun and Trigun Maximum. They're very apart from each other. Like the Trigun manga is going to come out in December, and Trigun Maximum is going to come out in April of next year. So there's going to be some gaps in between, but I am going to review the manga for those when they come out, because I think I'll be done with Trigun Stampede by that point. So I'll be right there ready to start the manga. And then Case Study of Vanitas, doing that for at least another month and a half. I don't know if I'm going to be doing the manga for Vanitas. I haven't decided yet. I don't know. Like I said, I'm almost manga'd out. I'm almost like done with manga. I don't know. And the manga reactions, they take a lot of time. Like if the Kuroko's basketball ones probably take about 3 to 4 hours to edit a piece. And that is with recording. And that's not even recording. That is editing. So it's trying to edit like all the screenshots and everything. They take a lot of time. And so, Omaru, should we expect 2030 to be the debut of the visual novel player? Oh my gosh. I don't know. I want to do a visual novel, but again, it takes time. And I want to make sure that I get kind of where I want to be with everything. So I know that the Vanitas manga has come out of hiatus, Girl Grocery. And I know that it's pretty much, I know that there's a point where it deviates from the, I don't want to know where, I don't want to know why. I want to look at the Vanitas manga. I do. but I don't know if I immediately want to do it when the anime is over, or if I want to take a break, do another series, and make it like an extra thing that I work on outside of the channel. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to probably talk with Discord as it gets closer to me getting finished with the series. I'm probably going to talk about Discord and get some opinions on Patreon and see what they would prefer. If they would like me to like work on it on the side while doing another manga or anime rather, I would think so. But yeah, the videos do take a lot. And so, yeah, I've heard of Doki Doki. I've heard of Ace Attorney being a literary novel. I think, yeah, it just depends. The only reason I did the Kuroko's basketball manga is because I was told that there was more with a certain arc in it. And I was like, well, I'm done with the series. The series is completely over in terms of the anime. So why not do the manga? And I've really enjoyed it. I love it. It's just, it does take a lot to do. And if I want to focus more on some other series, I don't know if I want to immediately, like, here's the thing. I know Blue Lock has a manga. If Blue Lock wins, I'm not doing the manga for Blue Lock because I know how popular it is. And I know that they're probably going to make another season, right? So I'm not going to do that. The only reason I did Kuroko's basketball as a manga was because I'm doing all the extras anyway. And because I knew that the anime for Kuroko's was over. So it's not like there are 30 volumes of manga for Kuroko's. It's not like there's going to be extra manga or extra anime for Kuroko's that I couldn't already done. But I really like the Kuroko manga, and I'm really glad that I did it. And then I'm doing Attack on Titan's manga because it had been a year since I watched the anime, and so I wanted to kind of review and catch myself up before doing the final couple of parts to make sure that I was remembering everything from the manga going into it. So those are the two main reasons. I do want to have a manga poll at some point to do a manga series because there are several manga that have not been adapted into anime that I would like to watch, or they are manga that I've been told are better than the anime that I would like to watch. But Tony Simi, do you plan on ever doing just manga reactions with ones that don't have an anime? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, I do want to eventually get to the point where I'm doing just a manga only reaction and just read a manga for a series, kind of like what I did with Slam Dunk. I kind of want to do that, but it'll probably be next year because I'm like I said, I've been doing manga for I've been doing the Kuroko's and Attack on Titan manga for like nearly a year, and it's been a lot. So I think having a break to get myself refreshed will be helpful. But thank you, Anime Annie. I really love Kuroko's manga. I love it so much, and I'm excited that I'm finally getting to the parts that I feel I wanted to read the manga to start with for. So that's exciting. But yeah, I'm really, really happy. Witch Hat Atelier is, I think, one that I would do. I know they're doing an anime adaptation of it now. It's been announced. I really have been having that on my list. Yes. Omaru, Tokyo Ghoul and The Promised Neverland. Okay, The Promised Neverland almost beat Berserk. It almost beat Berserk. It's on the second place list now. If I do a second place poll, it's on the list. And I think that if The Promised Neverland did win, I would definitely watch the seasons and do the manga with it. Tokyo Ghoul, my brother has told me Tokyo Ghoul's manga is really good. I really like the mangaka for Tokyo Ghoul has a series called Chojin X, and I've been reading it on Viz. It's like one of those series I'm reading outside of the channel. It's really good. I like it a lot. It took me a while to warm up to it, but now that I've warmed up to it, I really enjoy it. I think it's really cool. Would it just be manga or manhwa webtoons as a possibility? I would be open to the manhwa and webtoons. The only thing that I get worried about with webtoons is buying them. And I would buy the manga, but with the manga, it's easy because you pay $10 for a volume, right? You pay $7 to $10 for a volume. Some of the webtoons are like, by the time you buy all of them, you've spent like $50 on a series. And I'm like, okay, it'd have to be one that would be really, really good to do that with, unless it's like On or Off, which I spent so much money on or Off, like on Tappy Tunes. I spent so much money on that series. And then like a month after I finished it, Amazon released like the entire series for $10. And I was like, I hate you so much. I was like, I spent all my money on this series, and now they released it like in an anthology and it's $10. I was like, I see how it is. Uh-huh. Pun Pun has been one that's been recommended for a very long time, and it would definitely be on that poll, Devilesque. It would definitely be on that poll. Yep. I'm glad, Animania, I'm not the only one that spent all that money on or Off. I loved that series, but I was like, dang it, why? I would definitely consider doing for Janu Yowie like a review of or Off, because now Working Balance is the new spinoff series, and I'm loving it so far. I'm watching it every 10 days. I'm reading the chapter for it. It's a lot of fun. The Working Balance, it's a good one. But yes, some are really, really good. Let's see here. White Raccoon would have a blast with Goodnight Pun Pun. Yes. Hey, Banana. Hello. Hi. But yeah, there's some really good manga out there that I want to read and catch up with. It's just a matter of time. I would really like to get down on the channel, getting back to about 7 shows. I think I would. Right now, I'm doing like 12, which for the summer was fine because I had lots of extra time this summer. But I'm about to get back to school starting up again. I would like to start getting down to like 7 core shows on the channel that I do like 1 a day for the week. I would like to get back down to that. And then that would give me more time to do extra things like doing like reviews of series that I've read, or reviews of like if I've read like a 1 shot or 2 of some BL series, I'd like to do that, or doing like a review video like I did with Buddy Daddies. Yes, Geen, it's a lot right now, and One Piece's live action is about to start, and I want to do that too. So, yeah, it's I don't feel, that's the thing. This summer I didn't feel overworked necessarily, but it is a lot. And I do definitely feel like I've got some stuff coming up at the end of August and early September that I'm like, I'm trying to like plan ahead for. So I definitely want to get down to where I'm doing just like 7, and a core 7 would be good. And I think once Link Click is over, I'm not replacing Link Click. It was just because it was coming out and I wanted to do it. And then Attack on Titan is the same way. Once I'm done with Kuroko's Basketball light novels and the manga, then it's just going to be the sports anime series. So it'll get down to 7, which is fine. But I think that's kind of what I want to get down to, a core 7 series, and then do that. And that would give me some extra free time to work on other fun things that I really want to do, right? Because people have a lot of really cool recommendations that I want to kind of get to. Definitely like some Josai series. There's one that Crispy Nats, they are a content creator. They were talking about, it has Miyano Mamoru in it. What is it called? It's like Off. It's something Off. I don't know. It just came out. It's about something with like fashion, and there's men liking men. And I'm like, what's happening? And I know it's just came out on Netflix. It has Miyano Mamoru starring in it. I was like, what is going on? But Crispy Nats did a video about it a few weeks ago, and I was instantly intrigued. I like skipped over parts of it. Oku. Yes, that series sounds amazing. I would love to watch that series. It sounds really good. My plan, fingers crossed, I'm going to be doing a poll in a couple weeks to determine what series is going to replace Bungo Stray Dogs, because I think Bungo Stray Dogs is the next series that I'm going to finish. And so I'm going to have a poll to choose what genre is going to replace it. And one of the genres is going to be Miyano Mamoru shows. I wanted to have an option of Miyano Mamoru shows that I've gotten a series of them kind of gathered up. So that's going to be on there. And Uku is one of them. So yeah, I'm going to do a poll for the show to replace Bungo Stray Dogs. And I'm going to pull the genres first. And it's going to be like the second place winners, fantasy, BL, romance, slice of life, Miyano Mamoru shows. And then, there was another genre on there. I think it was like detective or crime noir. So yes. But I really, really hope that it wins, and maybe like a new shows poll to be on there as well. So that's what I'm hoping for. But I've heard Uku is really good. I'm really excited to see if that one wins. Yes. And then my happy marriage, I've heard that one's really good too. So it's like, yes, Devilesque. If the Miyano Mamoru genre wins, Steins Gate is going to be an option on there. Absolutely, because it's been recommended so many times now that I feel there's several series that have been recommended, like Psychopaths and Steins Gate, that I'm like, I need to include them on there because people keep telling me to to watch them. Be happy. For me, Miyano is for VA what Toji is for Oh, man, really? Oh, okay, Be Happy. All right. I'm with you. That's how I feel about Suda. Suda's voice is like chicken soup from a soul. Miyano, Suda. I would also say, I'd say Miyano and Suda are probably 2 of my favorite voice actors. Although Hosoya and Koyasu are really getting up there as well. The Miyano Mamoru list. It's gonna happen. I hope. I hope it wins. Yes. I'm really hoping that it wins. Would Chihaya Furu be on the Mamoru poll if it doesn't win the sports poll? Tony, the only reason why it is not is because it's already on the second place poll. Chiafuru and March Comes In Like a Lion are already on the second place poll. So I don't really know if I want to put it on a third poll, but it would definitely be on that one. So it's picked, right? Suabe, yes. Suabe is just, I'm like on, and to be honest, I'm on like the asexual spectrum myself. And so for me, what is attractive is, I like the aesthetic. I like the aesthetic of the male body. You give me a Toji, you give me an 8-pack, I'm like, yes, this is aesthetically pleasing. Thank you. But for me, what can get me more than anything is a voice. And it's always been like that ever since I was a kid. A voice can be one of the most sensual things that I can ever hear. Like I think what really got me was Christian Bale doing Howl's voice in the English dub of Howl's Moving Castle. As a kid, I was like, oh, like that voice just did it in. I was like, what is this? And then like I was obsessed with it. I was obsessed. And Toji is the physique and the voice. He's the best of both worlds, right? Lemonade. Do you ever have a voice actor that seems to follow you in every series that you watch? Oh, I would say that the voice actor lately, I would say that the voice actor for Canute and for Flock and for Octagawa and for Raichi, they are all the same voice actor. For their Ono Kinsho, he's been in a lot of shows that I've watched. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I feel like he's been in a lot of shows that I've watched too. Oh, Loon, yay. Yes, something super relatable, right? It's just like voices. Voices do it for me. I'm just like, there's something very sensual about a voice. And I'm just like, yes. And Kinsho Ono follows me everywhere. And I could not be happier because they're and they're one of those voice actors where like Koyasu, who voices Toji, he's kind of typecast anymore. Like when you know he's going to be like an eccentric character, and you know that Suabe is going to be like a sensual, like kind of suave character. But Kensho Ono, you just never know where he's going to be. You just don't know what character he's going to be. He just shows up and you're like, oh, he's in this too. And his voice sounds so different in everything. Like Raichi's voice versus Octagawa versus Kuroko. There's so much difference. It's kind of crazy, right? The MC. Oh, Idolish 7. That was the other option on the poll. Music and idol anime. Yes, that's one of the options too, is that there's going to be a music and idol option to replace, because I want to get into some music anime that would be, and Shu. Yes, Wushin. Shu. He also voices Shu. Just the range. Yes. So, Idolish 7, definitely. I've had so many people recommend Idolish 7 as well. And I feel like it's like everybody, when they recommend shows to me, it's like on one end of the spectrum. It's like either Romania, you need to watch Steins Gate, Psychopaths, Berserk, these hardcore psychological shows, or you need to watch Idolish 7 and like these BL and stuff that's like the fluffiest thing you've ever seen. And I'm like, yes, please. We can do the range. We can do lots of different things. We can have a variety here. What fun would a channel be if I watched the same types of shows over and over again? Why, no, we need balance. That's exactly right, Plor. We need balance. Yes. We need our psychological and we need our romance. We need the peanut butter and the jelly in order for it to work. But I've had so many recommendations for Idolish 7. I really hope that it eventually wins because I want to see it. We will have sports animes right in the middle. We have sports anime and then psychological detective, music, romance, slice of life BL. We have just like a rainbow of shows to get. Be happy. We need the trauma and we need the therapy. Yes, exactly. When I was watching Banana Fish, I would follow up with an episode of Free every time. I would immediately. I remember watching an episode of Banana Fish back when I was doing reactions for that show, and I would say, yes, okay, now that Banana Fish is over, I'm going to go watch an episode of Free and feel better about myself. And that's what I would do. I was doing, I'm sure in the thumbnails you could tell that, oh, she's been watching the episode of Free right after Banana Fish, because there it is, right? The range. Alex Johnson, I know you usually watch sub shows, but have you ever been recommended most people praise the English dub of that anime? Alex, I've heard of Bacano. I've heard it's really, really good. My whole thing with the English dub is I'm not opposed to it. The main thing was as long as it has subtitles. That's rule number one. The only reason I'm not doing Berserk in the dub is because I couldn't find a dub with subtitles. And so I wanted to watch the sub. Usually I watch the sub because with the dub, you have to be careful. Are they translating correctly, or are they just trying to match lips? And I've watched enough dubs to see where they kind of cut corners sometimes, and you don't quite get what the translation is not the same. I would say one example that is an exception to that is Death Note. The Death Note dub was really good. I liked the Death Note dub a lot, and it didn't cut corners or change any of the meaning, but I would need to know that that was the case. I'm not opposed to a dub, but I usually will poll Patreon to see what they want me to watch, sub or dub. Usually sub wins, but as long as there's a subtitle version, I'm not opposed to a dub at all. No. If I ever do ghost stories, I'm going to do dub, though, because I've heard that it's just ridiculous, and I would need to do that for that. The emotions conveyed are unmatchable. Yeah, it's just hard, right? It's hard to get out of its initial language, right? And I feel it's the same way. It's the same way with anything like a Western cartoon. A Western cartoon translated over into Japanese dub would be the same. Or like, I guess, for example, MXTX's works getting translated over into Japanese. I'm sure there's something lost there because they have to change certain things to make it fit. So it is nice to see it in its original organic language, right? Oh, so the dub has been praised more for Bacano. That's good. I'm all for it. If people are like, yes. Code Geass's dub is really good. Oh, the Skate the Infinity dub was amazing. I loved that so much. Kind of like Yuri on Ice's dub. It's so good. Okay, the Jujutsu Kaisen dub. I'm looking at Gein's comment. I listened to 5 seconds of season 2's Jujutsu Kaisen dub, and I couldn't with Toji's VA. They sound like they were 17. I couldn't. I was like, I couldn't do it. Nope. I tried to listen, and I was like, oh, I couldn't. Toji and Ghetto's dubs, they were just not working for me. I was like, no. And I felt bad because you know the voice actors are trying. They want to roll. It's what they're trying to do. They're just doing their job. It's nothing against the voice actors, but the casting directors, I'm like, you really cast them? Like, I know there's some English dub actors that would be amazing Tojis, but it wasn't them. I was like, ooh, I know some English dub actors that could do a really good job of being those characters, but I was like, you picked them? Okay. All right. Okay. And it was just like, all right. The Aki Chainsaw Man dub should be swapped because Aki sounds like a 50-year-old in the dub. Yes, he sounds a lot older. That's really funny. That's funny a lot. The Japanese sub was interesting for Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh, and they couldn't translate some English words. That's interesting. I think right now I'm watching, as I'm grading papers and stuff, I've been watching the Kuroko's basketball dub, which is a really good dub. I like the one for Kuroko's. But it's interesting because sometimes dubs will keep Japanese like tracks and titles, and sometimes they abandon them. Like in Kuroko's basketball, they call them like Mirochi and Momuchin, and they do the names that the characters do, which is great. It just feels kind of weird hearing it in English. You're like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then is when they get English voice actors in Japanese shows. Voice acting in the world. It's great. Oh gosh, Albert's voice actor will always be my favorite. Love it. Something is off. Yes, exactly. Some ears lurking on the side. There are many great English VAs, but the choices that are made are questionable. Yeah, and I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's just like casting, like scheduling, if people just can't do the parts, or if they don't want to do the parts. It's very, very interesting. And there's a stigma. I feel like the Japanese voice actor industry is so much different. Tony, don't you dare. Like, just like, I feel like the voice actor industry in Japan is so huge and it's taken so seriously. And in the US, I feel like the voice acting industry is not taken as seriously as it needs to be. And there's not as much with it. But thank you, 3K. Thank you for coming in here. Yes, I'm excited for this as well. The water favors you, Haru. I had to do it. Yes. No. It does. I feel like it's hard. And I remember watching when Spirited Away came out. I was obsessed with Spirited Away as a kid. And I watched the dub, and the girl that plays Lilo from Lilo and Stitch, she plays Chihiro in Spirited Away. And there was like a little behind the scenes segment where it showed Chihiro's voice actress, the girl that plays Lilo, and it shows her like doing the dub, acting and like having like the three beats, the beeps, like matching up the lip movements. And it showed like the voice acting director giving her directions and everything. And it's hard. Like I would love to be a voice actor, but I don't know if I could do it for anime, because trying to match up the three beeps, that's, I'm not good with timing. That seems like it would be really, really hard, right? It would be very hard. The Not to You dub that came out 14 years after the show aired, and it's so weird to watch the dub now. Yeah, and see, I grew up with most of my anime in English dub, because that's just, wow, you know, in the US we didn't have the Japanese sub available. Like you had to go to like the deep nethers of the internet back in the Stone Age, when it was like an Ethernet cable and dial up, and you were just like, you didn't even know what websites to go to, and you were worried you're going to get a virus from like trying to download a sub or something like that. So a lot of the anime I encountered as a kid was from the English dub. And so that's just what I'm used to. And so when you grow up and then you hear, oh, Bleach, you hear the Bleach sub, you're like, you hear Suabe as Grimjow, and you're like, oh, that's not what I'm used to, right? Or you used to Johnny Young Bosch being Ichigo, and then you hear the voice actor in Japanese, and you're like, oh, that's so weird. It's interesting. After I saw her, yeah, and then getting in the industry is hard. It's kind of like acting. You know, if you're going to be an actor, you really have to. One of my friends is an actress, and she's been in the industry for like 10 years, and she just now, after 10 years, got a minor role in the series Jury Duty. And I was like, which was great for her. I love it. But I'm like, you've been in the industry for 10 years and you just now got like this little part. Like, it's a lot. Yeah, you usually have to do something else on top of it just to get by. But yeah, the Arabic dub for cartoons and anime is a very regulated industry. That's so interesting. See, I love learning about how other industries do it. Like, I know a lot of anime has like gone to like Brazil, and there's a big South American market with anime. And then hearing like the German dub and the Arabic dubs, like, it's so cool. I find that so fascinating that we kind of have our own little like subcultures of dubs when it comes to like anime screenings. It's interesting. Yeah, you have to really be into it too. I think Tony Simi, you nail it on the head. You have to really devote so much to yourself to be in that industry. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, the way they're Japanese, Amaru. Yeah, the moment I realized that Bleach and Dragon Ball Z, like the Japanese voice actors, I don't know any of the voice actors for Bleach or Dragon Ball Z in Japan. I only know like the English voice actors, because that's what I grew up with. And so, and it is hard when you kind of get used to hearing it in this language, and then you see that, oh, this is what it was originally. Oh, okay. Irish anime dubs. Yeah, I don't know. In Belgium, there's so little VA work. We don't dub and only make children cartoons. For big movies, it's just big normal actors. Yeah, and I feel like it's interesting. I feel like the industry, it's so varied. It's difficult to say like how they do it. But that's interesting to know about Belgium and Ireland. Interesting. And the German dub for Vanitas. I've heard some German dubs from Haikyuu, and they were pretty good. I did like some of them. Portugal. Okay. Yeah, I'm really excited for all the shows this fall. Like I said, Monster and Attack on Titan still going on. I'm looking at my calendar. Jujutsu Kaisen's going to come back at the end of the month. I got to work on the introduction for it. I think I'm just going to make it its own separate video about the Board of Gay Yearning, because it needs to be. And Berserk, keeping up with. And then Bungo Stray Dogs, the season 5, which has just been absolutely insanity. And then, yeah. So, I mean, we're basically, the next 3 shows that are probably going to get replaced are Bungo Stray Dogs, Vanitas, and Crocos are probably going to be the 3 this fall that are going to get replaced. And so I'm going to do polls. I mean, the Crocos replacement is obviously going to be a sports anime, but for Vanitas and for Bungo Stray Dogs, I'm probably going to do like a poll to see what kind of show we want to replace that. But yeah. And then after that, I guess the next one would probably be, Trigun after that. So it's going to be exciting. Yeah. Hire me. I can be Irish Ash. Oh my gosh. Crunchyroll had a decent number of anime, so bar Pokemon have been very much sub only. Yeah, it's so crazy. I feel like it's when you got into it. I grew up with the Deke dub of Sailor Moon, which is my favorite. I love the Deke dub because it's so campy and 90s and fun. But then when you hear like the Japanese sub, I'm like, oh, this is a serious shoujo now. But yeah, Aizen's VA is a voice you'll definitely love. Oh, I'm excited. I don't know Aizen's VA in Japanese, so that's going to be exciting to hear who that is. I think somebody has said who Aizen's VA was, but I don't remember. I think I remember somebody saying that there was I think somebody told me who the voice actor for Aizen was in Japanese, but I can't remember who it is. I know Kyle Hebert is the voice actor for Aizen in English, and I love him as Aizen. He's great. He does a great job with the English dub of Aizen's voice. He's wonderful. I just love Aizen all around. As a kid growing up, I was like, Aizen's such an antagonist. Man, I love Ichigo. And now as an adult, I'm like, Aizen knew what was up. It's like the older you get, the more you relate to the antagonists. Sho Hayami. Sho Hayami. Who else has Sho Hayami been? Who would I know them as being Aizen's voice actor? Who else would I know Sho Hayami as being? I feel like I should know who they are. I feel bad for not knowing. If anybody in the chat wants to help me out, know who Sho Hayami also voice acts for, that will help. People want an Irish VA for Ash for the hypothetical Banana Fish dub. Oh my gosh, that is, and there's a couple shows that have not been dubbed in English, and I think that's one of the reasons why they haven't gotten as much mainstream audience. I think Banana Fish, I'm amazed Banana Fish still doesn't have a English dub. I'm amazed that it doesn't, right? I'm amazed. Wolfwood, thank you, Jackie. Yes, I was like, somebody else plays Aizen that plays a character for a show that I'm watching right now, and it was something not expected. Wolfwood's VA being Aizen is absolutely amazing. I love that. I love Wolfwood and Trigun, so it's a lot of fun. Child antagonist, yeah, it could still happen. I definitely think that they will eventually make a English dub for Banana Fish, but I think that it's going to have to be the voice actor for Ash, like, and the voice actor for AG. I'm like, ooh, I don't know. Those are such iconic roles that I'm like, who are you going to get to play them? You know, I mean, you could find somebody to be Dino. You could find somebody to be Max. You could find them, but I'm like, who else? I'm like, who could be Ash and AG in a Banana Fish English dub and do them justice is really, I'm like, what will we do, right? Idolish 7 never got English dub, which is weird considering how it's big in Japan. Yeah. And also like Ace of the Diamond doesn't have an English dub, which we were talking about it too. Like Ace of the Diamond, I feel like would be so much more popular if they had an English dub. Because I mean, Haikyuu has an English dub. Krokus Basketball has an English dub. I feel like if Ace of the Diamond had an English dub, it would bring that popularity up so much. I was like, oh, Judo is Judo from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Oh, okay. Interesting. Instead of, okay. And it'll be funny to have them actually speak English. Yeah, that is very interesting. But then I'm like, what about the Japanese angle of it? It's like Great Pretender had a moment where they were trying to like cross the language barrier, and then they made the joke that they were just going to make it all in Japanese or all in English so that there wasn't confusion, right? It would be the cute if the voice actor for AJ still has an accent because he speaks with an accent in the manga. That's tricky to work with. Yeah, I think that's another reason why they're hesitant with the Banana Fish dub, because there's so many little like intricacies with the language that you have to do it just right. And so I don't know what voice actor they could get that would want to do that. Am I right saying Idolish 7 game doesn't have an English dub either? Yeah, you guys are all like talking up Idolish 7. I'm telling you, if the music anime genre wins the polls this fall, then Idolish 7 is definitely going to be on it. It has like, what, 3 seasons? Is that right? I'm up for it. Yes. I'm watching long-standing anime anyway right now, so what will it hurt to have one more? Why not add one more to the mix? So yeah, that's my poor voice. My poor voice has been squeaky all weekend, so I'm like, hey, with everything. But I'm curious to know if you guys have any more questions. 64 episodes, a year's worth of Idolish 7. Wow. A year of Idolish 7 would be what it would be. I do normally like doing just one episode a week. The only exceptions that I've ever made to that are with sports anime. If the sports anime is over 75 episodes, then I will do like 3 episodes per watching, usually for it. Like with Croco's and Ace of the Diamond, it was kind of needed because there were so many episodes. But with a series like that only has maybe 24 episodes, I would do one a week probably. And then like if a series like the only reason I did the Untamed with 2 episodes a week was because people said that there were some episodes that split in half at weird times, and I was like, ain't nobody got time for that. But yeah, we need a comedy genre. Comedy's hard, right? Comedy is hard because for me, I want stuff to discuss. And so sometimes with comedy series, I'm like, am I going to have enough for a discussion, or is it going to be just like, well, that was funny and then move on, right? Because a lot of times, like with the Chibi series that I watch, like the Link Clip Chibi series and Attack on Titan Junior High and Modao Zushi, Q, it would be like, it's funny to react to those series, but then when you go to discuss them, you're just like, well, it was funny, and there's nothing else to really talk about. So it would have to have a plot and not just be humor, right? Because I've done like Way of the House Husband, which is mainly just humor, and then there's not really much to talk about. You're just like, well, that was funny, and I like this scenario and skip the best, and then that was it. So it need to have some definite plot with it as well. The Untamed cliffhangers were on a whole other level. Oh my god, they were just trying to like live up to MXTX's standards. I am excited for Heaven Official's Blessings live action. Oh my gosh. Heaven Official Blessing, the live action for it, the Dongwa returning. I need it in my life. I need all of the Heaven Official's Blessings things, please and thank you. Kaguya-sama, yes. Kaguya-sama is going to be on the romance polls if it wins, because I've heard it's got some romance slice of life stuff. Oh, Uramichi Oni-san, I want it to win so badly. I'm waiting for it to win, like, so. I want to watch. It's going to be on the Miyano Mamoru poll as well, because I want it to get there at some point. I really want to, yes. I don't think Tony Semi, I think that they seem like they've been in production for a while with it, and I hope that they get to finishing it. I know the Dongwa is going to season 2 of the Dongwa. They're just working up on the revoice acting for it. Grand Blue has been on. Grand Blue was actually one of the sports anime polling choices that was this summer. It sadly didn't make it. It didn't advance, but it was on there and it got some votes. So that was good. That was good. But yes, I definitely want to watch Uramichi Oni-san eventually because it has Miyano Mamoru in it and because I've heard it's hilarious and I want to see it for sure. For sure. So yeah, anybody else have any other questions? I've really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, I don't know, voice acting is so good in it. And I think, am I right to believe that the voice actor for Oikawa is in Uramichi Oni-san? Is the voice actor for Oikawa actually Uramichi? I know Miyano's like a side character in it. I want to say the voice actor for Oikawa is the main character for Uramichi Oni-san. I think that's one of the reasons I originally wanted to see it. I think that's correct. I want to say I'm right, but I'm not 100% sure. They canceled a Don Mai live action that was currently airing. Oh my God, Tony Sammy, don't say that. No, don't take away my hope. I want to see the live action of them, please. My hope is that by the time I finish Heaven Official's Blessing, they will have finished the live action series. And then I can watch it and be like, and know what's already going to happen and can see it. We can all just like tee-hee and have our popcorn and just fangirl about it, and see what changes they make and everything like that. Ouran High School Host Club. Yes, I sadly have already, well, not sadly, I love it. I have watched Ouran High School Close Club already, but it has Miyano Mamoru in it. Absolutely. But I've already watched that series, so I probably would not do a reaction for it unless it was like just a review. But such a good series. So good. So good. And the English dub for Ouran High School Host Club is really good too. I love the English dub for that series. It's really good. Maybe it still happens since it hasn't aired yet and they have time to change things more. There are 3 live series that I'm waiting for, including, that one for Eternal Faith. So we'll see, right? We will see. Oh, the live action. Oh, no. But yeah. So anybody else have any other questions or things they wanted to bring up for this live stream? Oh, Lemonade. Would you ever consider reacting to a mobile game? I probably like a visual novel. I I just don't know if the mobile game is up to code for what I want to do. I'm ancient. So I don't know if I want to get that's kind of people have asked about Western cartoons and things like that. So, and visual novels are something that if I can work up the time to kind of start, I would like to get into too. But I don't know about a mobile game. I feel like that's kind of further down the list. I really want to focus on these at the moment. I'm never opposed to it, but I would definitely want to make sure I have the right setup and I do it properly if I do it. So that is my pageantry answer to that question. That's my Miss America answer. Um, Drink some honey and warm milk for your throat. Oh yes, I gargle some salt water too, which is the not nice answer to that, being like, ugh. But some warm milk and honey. I feel like Winnie the Pooh when I get that suggestion. That's not a bad thing. It's not out in English, so you need to use fan translations. Oh, and that's the other thing. There are so many different series and things that people suggest, but then when I go to find translations for them, they don't exist. And I'm like, I would love to look at that, but there's just not an adaptation for it that's accessible, which is the downside. And I'm very, 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 very lucky that I have Anime Annie and Truck who have done so many translations for Kroger's basketball. Like they have gone above and beyond. If you've not subscribed to Anime Annie and Truck and you like Kroger's basketball, you should. I know Anime Annie, you've done a lot of Good Omens 2 stuff recently, which I need to watch and get into that. But yeah, they definitely, I would not have had access to that if not for y'all. So that's really, really nice. TCP, antiseptic and water was always my name. I don't know what TCP is. That's interesting. Yeah, some just goes missing over time. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh no, here's the thing, be happy with Scum Villain self-saving system. I know that the Donghua is in CG. I knew that kind of when I started out the MXTX journey. But I grew up watching Reboot, and if you don't know what Reboot is, go look it up. Go look up US Reboot series. I grew up watching Reboot that has some of the worst CGI known to man. So I am not off put by CGI at all. I can handle Reboot. Reboot was like dot matrix. Oh my god, the Medusa looking villain, it was the thing of nightmares for me as a kid. I had so many nightmares because of that villain. She was like terrifying, and the CGI on her gave me like terrors as a child. So I'm like, if I can handle Reboot, I can handle anything with CGI, I think. It's fun to point out bad CGI sometimes in a well animated show, but if it's all on the same level, then it doesn't stand out and it doesn't seem as bad. I am good with anything animation wise as long as the story is good. Bob, Enzo, Matrix. I'm just like, I'm gonna like have Reboot nostalgia. Somebody sent me a link a while back that was just like all the Reboot episodes. They're on YouTube. Somebody gathered up all the Reboot episodes and was like, whenever I get time, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch this because yes, it's just they can be unusual at first. Oh man, yeah, Reboot is such a nostalgic thing, so classic. Yes. But yeah, I'm excited. I don't want to finish Heaven Official's Blessing anytime soon, although I am excited for like Thousand Autumns and Scum Villain and something about a husky cat that apparently is really, really, really horny and weird that I don't know anything about. Something about a horny husky cat. That's all I know. I just know that those are some Donmai out there that I've not gotten a chance to get into. And it'll be weird reading something that's not Shizoon. That's it. That's what it is. Everybody's like, people with Shizoon are either like, they're like, this is the greatest thing ever, or this is the most terrible thing ever. And I don't know which it is. I'm like, is it both? I don't know. It's funny when you have no context for something and then people are talking about it and you're like, I don't know what this means. And so both. Yes, both. Yeah. They're like, it's the most beautiful, horny story ever. And I'm like, Oh, last question. Omaru, the answer is yes. Love him. Favorite. Instant win. I'm like, tens across the board. Give him to me in a silver platter, his tall, lanky self. Yes, love him to pieces. But yeah, so I am excited. I don't know how I will feel about reading Donmai by authors other than MXTX when I get to that point, because I really love MXTX's writing, and it's going to be very odd to read a Donmai that's not by her. So, but I'm excited kind of, because I think it'll be fun to get something fresh when we get to it. But we got to get through Scum Villain. We got to get through the others as well. I've heard of Priest too. Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of good ones out there that I'm excited to get to. Yay. So any other questions, y'all? This has been a lot. This is a lot more of live stream than I anticipated, but it's going to be probably the last one until October. I do want to do a Kroger's basketball live stream. When I get done with the series, I do want to do one. It'll probably be the next live stream that I do. That one's going to be ridiculous when we get to it. Don My Mondays are here to stay. Yes, absolutely. I mean, it may not be MXTX Mondays, but it will be Don My Mondays for sure. It's like McDonald's and Burger King. Okay, that's a great comparison. I like that. That it's still you're still getting a burger. It's just going to be a different kind of burger. I can do that. The 14th Year of Changhua, a novel way in the future. I know that's my problem, is that I want to get down to where I'm doing like 7 shows a week to have time to work on other little side projects that I want to do. But at the same time, it's like I'm always very ambitious and I want to do like as much as I can. But like you all point out, it's like pacing yourself and staying on track and everything. And I want to get to the shows that everybody wants me to get to. And I feel like it will be nice once I get through some of the longer shows out of the way to get to some like shorter shows to kind of get through more of a variety as well. But we'll see. In the meantime, my next goal over the next couple weeks is to, oh my God, the Kroger live stream is going to be ridiculous, Anime. And it's going to be ridiculous. I might as well just do the shipping thing on Conspiracy Board Sama during the live stream. That would be ridiculous too, wouldn't it? We'll see what we do with that. But, my goals for these next couple of weeks are at the end of the month, I have a trip I'm going to over the weekend. And then the following, like the week after next, there'll be another trip. So I'm trying to record a little bit ahead right now. But my big goals is to do some extra things like Yona of the Dawn. That'll probably be the next thing that I get to that's an extra. And then I've decided for Jujutsu Kaisen, I was originally going to do an intro that was both the comments that are non-Gojo ship related, as well as the Gojo ship related stuff for the intro of episode 6. And then as I'm looking at all the comments I have in my notebook, I'm like, that's going to be like 40 minutes worth of stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is separate all of the shipping thing. I want to react to the OP and ED lyrics for Jujutsu Kaisen season 2's first 5 episodes, because I've not listened to the OP and ED lyrics. I've been very careful to not do that because I wanted to react to them. So I'm going to do those reactions, talk about the Board of Gay Yearning, talk about all the remaining like shippy stuff with the recap, and then all the comments and stuff that are not related to that can be for the intro of episode 6. So I may separate it out, get my bucket of KFC, my Gojo cosplay, and just have fun with it, because I feel like after 2 years of waiting, why not have fun with Jujutsu Kaisen? It'll be over before we know it, so we might as well have fun with it while we can, right? While we can. But yeah, I'm really excited. Doing lots of stuff with Jujutsu Kaisen. So much fun. The stream will have a lot of Kuroko no basketball and Ace of the Diamond too. Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about Kuroko's basketball like as a whole. There's so much you could talk about. Like, where do you even start, right? Ranking the episodes, ranking the games. You can do a lot with that. Jujutsu Kaisen is such a blast. Oh my gosh, yes. It's like we waited for 2 years. If you're an anime only and you've waited all this time to experience that series, it's been worth the wait. I've been trying not to hype myself up the last 2 years and be like, oh, when it comes out, it'll be fine. And the crazy train just keeps on going. The hiatus hasn't been as bad as I thought it would be because I've been able to keep myself busy. So if I wasn't able to keep myself busy, I'd probably go insane. Oh, Gina, I'm glad you rambled about Kuroko no basketball. No, I've gotten so many Kuroko's comments I still have to get to. I need to work on those next. Itadori, he's lost his protagonist spot for right now in Jujutsu Kaisen, but he's about to get it back. We're about to get out of that time skip. He'll come back for it. It'll be fine. But yeah, I really have enjoyed Kuroko's basketball. I'm going to be sad when it's replaced, but it's interesting. Oh, can I ask you to do a character tier list once the season 2 is over? Oh, yeah. I mean, why not? Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen, I think, was the one series on here that I did a live stream for after season 1 because I knew it was going to be a long time before season 2. And I don't normally do that, but I did with Jujutsu Kaisen. So I definitely would need to do like a post-season perspective on Jujutsu Kaisen That would be interesting. Yeah, a character tier from season 2. That would be fine. Are you just wanting me to like put Toji in S tier? Is that just all you're wanting? I mean, we already know. We already know. So I mean, it's just an ab shot. It's just an ab shot of Toji's abs. The worm has to be separate though. The worm has to be separate. The worm gets its own spot. It can't be with Toji. He has to be separated from it. That'd be too much power. We can't do that. That's a given. Yeah, no, Be Happy. See, no, Be Happy I respect because Be Happy is to Toji what I am to Nanami. Nanami Kento is my jam in Jujutsu Kaisen. Everybody's over here like trying to fight over like a finger of Gojo's, and I'm like, you all fight over his fingers and his baby doll eyes. I'm gonna go over here with Nanami. We're gonna go have a baguette and have a good time. Like yeah, you guys have fun with that. I'm not gonna fight you for him. I'm not out here for Gojo. He ain't interested in me. So yeah, I'm like, no. And Tony sent me out here for Mojito. Look. If you put some duct tape over Mojito's mouth and you put some mittens on his hands where he couldn't touch me, we might talk. I love that in Jujutsu Kaisen, everybody is literally a simp for some character in the series, right? It's you're either a simp for Gojo, you're a simp for Sukuna, you're a simp. Oh yeah, Sukuna has 4 arms more to share him with. Oh my god. I remember when I said Sakuna for like the first 12 episodes of season 1. I said Sakuna for like the longest time. People were like, it's Sukuna. And I was like, well, I'll get it eventually. And so, yeah, Sukuna, you have Megumi, you have Toji, you have Gojo, you have Nanami, you have Geto, you have Toto. Does anybody ship for Kamo? Does anybody ship for Kamo? Oh my god. Such shade. And then you have weak sauce. And then yeah, Toji has more stamina. Oh my god, mine's in the gutter. This is what happens like on the Jujutsu Kaisen thread. I feel bad because there's like somebody on Patreon that's not a shipper, and they're just in the Jujutsu Kaisen thread like we're just over here like just like a damn oasis. Oh no, Anonymous, enjoy your here. Yes, Anonymous voice, Suda's voice is so perfect as Anonymous. It's so perfect. How could you not enjoy Anonymous? He's so great. Yes. Edgar is suffering there. Yes. I feel so bad for Edgar each week because it's just like shipping and abs and all this. And Edgar's just like, so the plot. And we're like, yes, the plot. Like what we're telling you the plot, right? It's what happens. I feel like there are some channels on my server that I know are going to be I know that the Jujutsu Kaisen channel is going to be it's thirst traps, Toji shots, Nanami, Gojo, and then angsty fan art. It's just going to be angsty fan art and thirst traps on the Jujutsu Kaisen channel. Attack on Titan right now is basically Ururi until further notice, and maybe I'll throw in some manga panels there, but it's mostly Ururi. And then you have the Chainsaw Man channel that I don't even go into anymore because I don't know what's happening there. I don't know if I want to, and I'm scared of what's happening in that channel. I'll occasionally just pop into that channel and I'm just like, there's like helicopters flying by and there's like bombs going off. And then occasionally there's like someone yelling at someone. And I'm just like, I hope you guys are okay in here. And then I'll leave. Like usually I'll just pop in and somebody's having an argument. I'm like, are you guys okay? And then they're like, it's like a record scratches and they're like, she's here. I feel like the Chainsaw Man channel is like when you shine a light and all the rats go just disperse. Every time without fail, like Bright Girl or Maya go, she's here, run. It's great. My favorite channel, Devilesk. Oh my god. It's really funny. I like that it's just evolved into this petri dish of bacteria and occasionally there's like an Aki fan art and I'm like, okay, yay! And then yeah, the MXTX channel is the sweetest. Everyone's just like sunshine, rainbows, and Don My Love. It's just absolutely wonderful. It's great. And then Ace of the Diamond is just like baseball 24/7, right? What I'm really nervous about is the series that's going to replace Kuroko's. If it's the show that I think it's going to be, I'm a little nervous because there's some hyper fans with some of these series that I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. Might be opening up a can of worms. I don't know. But we'll see. We still have a few more weeks of the channel's like, remember the chat's like, yep, the link click channel is for full the link click channel is just basically the It's Always in Sunny in Philadelphia board, like conspiracy board, where everybody's like, so this is happening, but this also in this. I love every channel has a different mood. And it's really fun to see how everybody gets kind of in a different mood with the fan art and the fan fiction and everything. It's great. I love the vibe that each of the channels have. Yeah, I've heard the fans of that certain series. We don't call it we don't call the series. We call it the anime that thou shalt not name for now, because people get so intense about it. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I'm excited for this fall. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited. I am going to try and do the One Piece live action. I want to watch it. It's only 8 episodes released weekly, I'm pretty sure. So I think that's doable. I think that's not too much. I would like to do Voldemort. Yeah, Kelsey on Discord called it the Voldemort soccer anime. I was like, yes. So and to put my man to Belichick and going to see him. I don't even go to Chainsaw Man's channel, Be Happy, unless I just pop in like once a day, and then I'm like, are you guys okay in here? And then I like peace out. And half the time I don't say anything. I just make sure everybody's okay and then leave. And I'm like, you guys know what you're doing, apparently. But yeah, I do want to do the One Piece live action because I've had so many people request that I do One Piece. And I'm like, well, I read the manga every week. So it's not really a blind reaction. However, I feel like it's been so long since I've watched or read the first couple of arcs of that series because, it's been around for 20 years. I've been reading it for nearly 20 years. That I feel like it would be fun to watch the live action and just see. And I want to support it because Oda has supported it. And I want to support him in that endeavor. And I would like them to continue because what I see is 28 years. Yes, I've been reading One Piece since 2002. So it's been 21 years I've been reading One Piece. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably been a long time. Yes, a long time. So crazy talk, right? Did I watch the trailer? Yes, I did watch the trailer on Twitter for the One Piece thing. I'm really excited about it. Very excited. I'm actually a very hardcore fan of One Piece. I love it. Yes, Amaru. Dressrosa is great. Dressrosa is a great arc. One Piece takes a lot of dedication. I will admit there's a couple arcs that while in college I kind of skimmed over, and I wasn't even alive then. Yeah. Yeah, I'm ancient. Back in my day, we used to read manga on husks of corn. So yeah, there are a couple of arcs in One Piece I kind of skimmed through. I didn't read as well as others, but they're like right there in the middle. So I am excited to see what this 8-episode series for One Piece has in it. I'm really excited. I've seen the trailer. I like the cast. I think that for being a Netflix show, it looks decent. And they're actually being serious about, like, they're not trying to do like the Death Note thing where they Americanize it or something. They're not calling Zoro like Zachary, or they're not calling Nami like Natalie or something like that, or giving like Sanji the name like Steve or something like that. They're not giving them Netflix names. They're actually treating it like the actual series. And the CGI is fine. I'm okay with it. It's a cheesy, like, it's fine. What arc was it? Thriller Bark? No, I actually did read Thriller Bark, but I know a lot of people skip it. Skypiea. Skypiea was one of the ones that I was in college when it was going on. I didn't have a lot of time to read manga around those years because I was so busy. And so the Skypiea and the Water 7 arcs, I was kind of like, I read them, but it was not the ones I really focused on. I feel bad because everybody says that Skypiea and Water 7 are really important arcs. And I'm like, yes, but I feel bad that I skipped a lot of Skypiea and Water 7. I was like, ugh. I went back and reread it after the fact, but yeah, those are ones that I kind of skipped over and was like, ugh. I know, Amaru. Everybody says they're really great. And at the time, I blame college. I was busy. I didn't read a lot of manga at the time. I think I was only reading 3 things during my college years. I was reading Bleach, I was reading Black Butler, and I was reading One Piece. And those were literally the only 3 things I kept up with. Everything else, I was like, what happened those years. That's why I didn't read. That's why I didn't watch Death Note, because I didn't during those years. I wasn't, I was in college and in late high school. I just didn't focus on them because I didn't know they were on the radar. So thank you for forgiving me. I know that they are both really good. But yeah. And then I'm 4 years older than you. I'm past my bedtime. Ah, oh no. So I know that it is different time zones here, but I was young and foolish. Yes, I skipped all, but you know what? The timing is fine because I skipped all these amazing series when I was younger and would not have appreciated them as much. And now I'm older and I really appreciate them more. So I guess the timing worked out really well. Because yeah, I couldn't imagine watching Berserk or watching Death Note when I was younger and having near the appreciation that I do now. Absolutely not. I would have just, I would not have been able to say half of what I could say about them back then. Yeah. So yeah, and it's nice to go back and revisit things when you're older and time has passed and go, okay, yeah, this is pretty cool, right? I did like Punk Hazard though. I talk about Thriller Bark and Punk Hazard; they're pretty fun. But yeah, anything else, y'all? I really appreciate you guys for sticking with me this long. This was a really fun live stream. I like talking with y'all about stuff, and I'm really, really excited. There's a couple shows that I've already recorded a little bit ahead for. I am so excited for some of the weeks to come with them. I'm really looking forward to it. The shows that I'm watching, I'm really, really happy about because some really good stuff's happening in them. And I'm like, yes. I'm sitting here like wringing my hands thinking of some episodes for some of the series that I'm watching, like wahaha. Like just wait till we get to them because my reactions were a lot of fun with those. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys chatting with me. I know everybody's on different time zones, so thanks for taking time out of your day, out of your evening. If you need to go to sleep, go to sleep. Have a good evening, a great day. And yeah, I hope you guys have an awesome time. But thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, I think the next live stream I'll do will probably be for Kroger's basketball. And that'll be a trip. So I'll see you guys all then. But have a good evening. I'm so happy you guys could have been here. Have a great rest of the day. Yay. And so I'll see you guys all again very soon. Thank you guys so much. Bye. Bye.